what is the word? I don't know. Low worries, I guess, is the word. I can't think of the right word. There is
It
not a lot
is.
of not a lot of stress on these with the Jazz right now.
No, you don't really got to think about much. At some point, we got to start doing like we got to start doing, how NBA players sometimes don't shave until they make it to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
We got to start doing that, but for when the Jazz actually win a game.
And I tell you what, I don't think the Jazz are going to be winning a lot of games for a while.
No.
I don't think. I mean, the way they're playing right now. I mean, does anyone actually think the Jazz are going to be competing for the playoffs next year? I don't think so. I
No.
mean, I'm a fan of our young players, but I'm not delusional to think that they are going to be these superstar guys. They
No.
so so I think that we're still just accumulating players. So,
Yeah.
but
That's
anyways,
the
it
case.
is fun to watch these young guys play. And I saw that Jalen Hood Shafino thing, and I was like, you know what? That's like a perfect pickup because it's perfect because if you add him, it's not moving the needle at all. If
No.
anything, it solidifies what you're trying to do. But I liked him in the draft. He could run a pick and roll really nice. He's got pretty good size, so it's like, why not bring that guy on? I'd rather play Jalen Hood Shafino than, and I know some Jazz fans would hate me, but than like Colin Sexton. I don't know, like, really what we're getting out of the Colin Sexton other than kind of showcasing him to other teams, But
Yeah, and at bare minimum, I understand that Mills is playing 90% of the reason why he's playing is because Collier's injured. But even in that case, I'd rather have those third string point guard minutes come from Jalen Hood-Schifino than they would Patty Mills.
Actually, that's even an better example because, like, why, and we'll see Collier. I hope Collier comes back soon because he's been one I've actually been really excited to watch, and we just haven't really got a shot besides preseason. All right. Well, guys, I hope everyone had a nice Halloween. Oh my gosh. So I'm on the SLC Dunk account, and this account is fun, although Twitter is not what it once was because now the amplification is not based off of the quality of your tweets anymore. So that account doesn't do numbers like it once did, but I tell you what, Twitter has gotten so the ads are not great. I'll just say that.
I had a little bit of technical difficulty there, so I didn't hear what you said, but
No, you didn't miss anything. Hey, Jordan 23, what's up, my man? Welcome to the stream tonight. Let's see, we got Jordan, we got someone else. So, anyways, should be a lot of fun. Christian House Money to Haas over on YouTube. I'm gonna watch on YouTube chat today, so your stream isn't 10 seconds ahead of mine. Okay, whatever you want to do.
We got quite the skeleton crew coming into the game tonight, though. Sexton's out as well. Clarkson's out. Sexton's available, but who knows if he plays that much with his finger.
Yeah. Well, they said, I think it was Andy Larson tweeted something like he had a busted finger.
Yeah.
Like that was what he described it as. So I was like, oh, I don't know what that means, but it's not good.
No.
So yeah, we got a longer, more technical. By the way, the Spurs are pretty good. And, just in terms of tank watch, Spurs are beating the Wolves by 13 with 7 minutes left. The Spurs, and they aren't even playing with Devin Vassell right now. So
yeah,
I know some people were kind of wondering about the Jazz before the season started. I think a lot of debate has ended on how good the Jazz would be. But, like, I think the Spurs are they're pretty good. Like they're honestly pretty good. So
I have them in the preseason predictions. I had them doing kind of what the Rockets did last year, where they kind of snuck into a near play-in role, won like high 30s, low 40s kind of wins. I think they could do it. I don't know if they make it in, but they could do it.
No, I think why not? I mean, honestly, it's just it's only 6 games or so into the season, but
Yeah.
they have a superstar budding in Wembanyama, and then Chris Paul is like playing well. I guess it kind of just depends on if Chris Paul stays healthy, which that's kind of
Yeah, history isn't too fine on that one. We've seen the result.
yeah. But if they keep his numbers reasonable, and the fact is they're not playing Devin Vassell, so
Yeah.
And Stephon Castle's been a little like up and down. I really liked him in the draft. Maybe it's, if Paul is hurt, maybe he comes in and does good enough handling the ball, but they're
they also
fun.
have Trey Jones, who's still hurt too. Trey Jones is a good player.
Is Trey? I don't know him very well. Is he on the Spurs?
He's on the Spurs. He's kind of like his brother Tyus Jones, but a little bit smaller.
Oh, is he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Spurs are pretty good. They're going to be 3-3, and then just for Jazz interest. Well, I guess it affects the Jazz too, because I think we were wondering, would the Jazz be as good as the Spurs? Nope, we are not.
Nope.
Minnesota is going to be 3-3. They're going to be tied with the Spurs record-wise.
Yeah.
And
they had a brutal back-to-back though. I think that they tipped off at 8:30 last night, and they start at 7 tonight. That's kind of a brutal.
They did, and Rudy had a brouhaha, and they had a brouhaha tonight too. Jay, did you see that? McDaniels.
Yeah.
I was actually at the gym before this, just watching on and that was the one I was watching on my iPad while I was walking, and yeah, that's good stuff. I mean, honestly, like the Cavs look really good. The Cavs look like they may give us a very poor first-round pick, but I tell you what, this Timberwolves team is like on that brink of something bad. I mean, they've already done a bad move. That trade for Randall already looks like it has been not a good trade. And then if they have some sort of injury, there we go. There's the Rudy.
Yeah.
It's been a week for Rudy.
It has. He played pretty well last night, though. Yeah.
He's good. I mean, that's the thing, is you always see the highlights with Rudy, and it's funny to watch it from kind of an outside perspective, because now we see it kind of like other fan bases do, and all you see is that fight. You don't see Minnesota won the game, which is annoying, because I would have liked that pick to get better, but Rudy's a big part of them winning games. So
yeah,
that is the double-edged sword of having Rudy Gobert. You will win more games. You will also get kind of the negative viewpoint on things like that.
You'll just get clowned on. That's all. You just have to live with it, and you have to say
it is just what it is. Yeah. All right, can I just say one thing? I know, and Lowry said, I think, to Andy Larson or whoever, in his press, whatever it is. But anyways, it sounds like Lowry is going to be coming back at some point, but I'm enjoying Filipowski's been pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be, we'll see defensively, but offensively, he's been pretty efficient. He's been kind of playing tough. Like, he's been in a few little mini scuffles, which I always enjoy, because then I'm like, okay, this guy is going to stand up to the bullies. So
yeah,
I like.
And I think it was Andy who mentioned it, but I think he is physically the most NBA ready. I kind of didn't believe it at the beginning of the season. I was like, I don't know how well he's going to do, if he's just going to get outmatched athletically. But he's stronger, and he's a little bit more agile than I thought, and he's kind of there when it comes to having an NBA body, which is a great upside. I guess that extra year in Duke really did help out with that one.
Yeah, he's pretty big. I mean, honestly, he's like, I think he might, I don't know if he's a legit 7 foot, but he is close, and he moves pretty well. So I mean, you can see he's bigger than John Collins there. So
yeah.
Milwaukee is up 2 on Cleveland.
That's
interesting. Oh man,
I'm looking for Keontae to shoot over 25% from the field tonight. That would be a great upward trajectory if you could get that.
That would be nice. His shot is just, especially from 3, is just like gone. And I don't know, and he's carrying the load that other superstars are carrying, and it has been too much. So we'll see if he can break out, but man, it's not been good. It has not been good.
Maybe he secretly went and shot this summer with Mikal Bridges, and maybe the two of them are shooting buddies.
Well, you just think that, I mean, he has this kind of style where it's very freestyling kind of play, and you would think it would be better, but it just hasn't been. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. But it would be nice to see him have like a league average 3-point shooting night at least once.
Yeah. Here we go.
See, that's been the nice part, though, is the
Wonderful.
passing's been good.
Mm-hmm.
That is the one positive note. Like the shooting, no, but he did. I mean, he had 11 assists the other night.
Mm-hmm.
He had, and it seems like the offense is just kind of flowing a little better, but
Yeah.
the shooting is, ugh, it is rough.
It's not great. We got Jordan 23. We got ES 69 and Tyrone. Welcome, everybody.
Tyrone, you're at work. Well, I'm glad you're watching with us. Yes. And yeah, ES69, who's watching from Finland. What is it, 3 a.m. there right now in Finland, S69? Tyrone, you're the man.
It's 4 a.m. Oh, boy, that's dedication. I won't lie to you. The Jazz is a huge part of my life. If I had to watch this team at 4 a.m., I'd have a hard time getting up for that.
I also would struggle. It would be, I would be league pass watching the replays.
Westbrook had his first good quarter of the season last night.
Oh, did he? Oh, he had a nice quarter. Well,
yeah.
Congrats to Russell. I like the guy, but I just don't love I love the mentality and the idea of Russell Westbrook, but the shooting is just not good enough, and sometimes the decision making is so bad.
Yeah. And right on cue, we got a couple missed free throws.
Yeah. Man, mine is stuttering a little bit. I might put up And that's one thing I'm seeing from Kessler is just better effort this season.
Absolutely.
Like even just him getting that ball was like, that's a little thing, but we weren't seeing that last year. It was a lot of mopiness, and that's just nice to see because Kessler creates that shot basically.
He does, and that's a great play right there.
And he just blocked Jokic, although Jokic is Jokic.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he just seems way more involved in the game, way more physical, way more ready to kind of get his hands dirty, which is great.
Yeah, I think it's true. That confidence does seem like
you spend a summer away from Steve Kerr, and it does wonders for you.
Yeah. Steve Kerr, I think that's completely, absolutely what happened. I think he just got in his head, made him think he had to be something that he kind of isn't, and it really messed with what I think he thinks he's going to be. And I think he's back to kind of understanding this is how I can succeed in the NBA.
Yeah.
I think Keontae needs to learn that a little bit, and I think he's doing that right now. Just be a point guard, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And take the shots you're going to make. You don't have to take all the hero shots, and I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. I think that I think he could figure that out. I think that, it doesn't help when your guard mentors. Frankly, I really just don't. I think a part of it is, Jordan Clarkson and Colin Sexton are his mentors in the locker room when it comes to being a guard. And that's why I think Patty Mills is important because, Patty built a career off just doing what is in front of him, not making something out of nothing all the time. So I think that would be great for Keontae.
Yeah, and even that shot right there, it's just a quick three. And I don't mind that if you're a knockdown guy, but he's not that yet.
No.
And so it's like, and one of the things that he does so well is he gets to the line. He creates free throw attempts. And so that's like, and he is a good passer. That's the thing is I just think he gets a little too in love with the 3-point shot, and it's just not really an effective part of his game yet.
No. And Sexton's just not in he's out of rhythm this entire season so far.
Yeah, it's tough.
Cody struggled with his three recently.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, that's another one. I mean, he had the one game where he shot 50%, and outside of that game, he hasn't hit a three.
No.
So, and honestly, I guess the Jazz would probably tell us, like, well, that's what we want, is we want them to be taking these threes so they eventually start making them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't. To me, it's like, can you find out what you are and then build upon that? But
Yeah.
I guess easier said than done.
Yeah, I don't hate the argument of let players take shots that hopefully we'll have them make in the future. But I think the problem with that is kind of like what you said, is that then you start thinking that that's a shot that you should be taking rather than kind of finding something that maybe you're a little bit better at. Kind of putting the wagon in front of the horse there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Dang. Oh, dang it. Yeah, mine's not going quite as...
stream struggles.
Yeah. So I'm watching it on 2. I'm actually watching SCG Plus, but the Jazz Plus stream is like 2 seconds behind.
Oh. How do you like SCG Plus? I haven't gotten it just because I've been doing the over-the-air TV for the most part.
Yeah, it's fun. I like it. I need to use it more because it's better this year because you have the DVR.
Mm-hmm.
Last year it was kind of like you either had to watch it live or you had to rewatch it like literally 2 hours after the game. So it was kind of like, but now it's great. It's perfect because it's got the DVR. So. Yeah, I guess the starting unit tonight, I guess Sexton's starting because JC's been out, but it is a weird... Oh, go ahead.
What do you think of the starting JC versus Sexton?
I don't get it. I don't think either of them are a part of the future, so I don't know I don't know. I guess they're probably just trying different things, but Keontae seems to play a little bit better with Sexton on the floor, but is Westbrook? Oh no, that's Porter Jr.
I mean, at some point, you just start Sensabaugh. If you're going to be starting all the youngins, just go ahead and start Sensabaugh for a little while and see what happens there.
Totally
Probably won't
agree.
go great, but you might as well.
Completely agree. And right now, Utah is playing. They have the 30th defense or offense in the NBA. And it's kind of showing a little bit. We just got a lot of guys that are not knocking down shots.
And I believe they have the 30th defense in the NBA as well. So that's a winning combination right there. At least you can be the best at something. You can be the best at being the worst at both.
Might as well. And honestly, it's worth it. I don't mind. And if not a single one of these players is on the Jazz in 2 years, it's not the end of the world. It's okay. Yeah. Because this draft is where it's going to matter most. And if Utah really cared about that, they would have tanked a little harder during the Wembanyama and last year, to be honest.
So if we end up being the worst, and that means we're locked into the top 5, correct?
100%, because they draw for 4 players, and let's say we are stupidly unlucky, like the Detroit Pistons were last year or whatever. You still get the 5 because you'll get jumped. But that's the thing I don't think people realize is, like when everyone replies on Twitter and they're like, oh, it's 14%. You're doing all this for 14. No, it's not. You hold your position. So if you're number 1 and you get jumped 4 times, you still get the number 5 pick. And in this draft, it matters. I mean, I think the top 4, at least right now, are pretty, in my mind, solidified. But that means that I would say, obviously, Cooper Flagg, Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper. I saw Jonathan Wasserman had Dylan Harper at number 2, which I thought was interesting. And you watched Dylan Harper play. I was watching some stuff from him. It's not the craziest thing to say he might be the best player. I mean, you watch him play, he's 6'6", and someone compared him to Jalen Brunson, and I was watching him, and I was like, you are right. Like, because he's got this, like, kind of crafty, I mean, he's got this, like, move where he drives in the lane, and he'll do just, like, a little fadeaway lefty, but it's kind of like Jalen Brunson, where it's one of those guys that you're just like, it's going to go in every time. I don't know how, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's one of those guys that I think he's going to be in the NBA, and he's going to be an all-star for sure at some point. Cooper Flagg is just such a dynamic, does everything, has superstar potential, and I think Ace Bailey does a little bit too. Some people I've seen on draft Twitter are talking about Ace Bailey's handle, like they don't think he's got a good enough handle, and I'm like, oh. So that's something I guess I'm going to watch and say, does this guy have the ability? Because that's one thing that makes Cooper Flagg so nice, is he can get anywhere on the floor with the handle.
Yeah, if the Jazz drop to 5, I'm a big fan of Nolan Traore, the point guard from France. I think that I'm still not sold on Keontae as being the starting point guard for the future. That could change over the course of the season, but I'm not sold on it. So, I think that shooting could be a struggle, but he's 6'4", and that'd be great at that position. He's shifty, and I think he might be the best pure point in the draft. So that's who I would look at if we drop to 5, assuming that the top 4 kind of go as predicted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the way I just kind of envision and would love for the Jazz to, what I hope they eventually become, is that you're kind of running things through the wing anyway. I mean, I guess I think Traore looks nice. I have not watched enough of him to really know, because I do think, at least with the winning teams, it feels like you have to have size for your playmaker, and that's the only thing where Traore to me is like, to me right now he'd be like 5, but I wouldn't be. I mean, we haven't even seen college basketball start yet, so there's going to be some guys that really rise. My only question with Traore is the shooting. If he's a good shooter, he's incredible passer just from glancing at the numbers. And I watched him at the Hoop Summit, and he looked like awesome, So I think he's, if the worst you can do is get Traore at 5, that's like pretty great.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. And then you're just going after DeBonsa the next year. I don't know. Yeah. But if you can get Dylan Harper and have his kind of, it's crazy. He's 6'6". It really is kind of this like Darren Williams. It's like kind of Jalen Brunson and Darren Williams' body a little bit, but he's even bigger than Darren Williams.
Right.
I don't know. There's some guys. I mean, I really like the idea of VJ Edgecombe. We'll see how he does at Baylor. Mm-hmm. The athleticism is like unmistakable. Well, Utah's on their way in this one to that spot we're talking about. It's just no one can hit shots on this team.
No.
Hey,
I'm excited to see Juzang. Yeah,
there you go.
A run.
Johnny J. But I'm excited to kind of, and as we go through the year, I really want to start kind of diving into each player. And SLC Dunk is going to become a draft blog in some ways, probably.
Yeah,
mine.
Pretty quick. Pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we could just start doing that now. Yeah, the stream is going a little slow for me. Dang it.
Juzang playing great to start off. That was great.
Yeah, Juzang's a solid player. That was a great pass to Collins, and Collins has honestly been playing well. I mean, he's not a very winning player, but in terms of Collins, he's playing pretty well.
Yeah. A little bit too much.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what their plan with Juzang is, because to me it feels like Simone Fontecchio Part 2 of just try to develop him into something that you can trade at this point. Because I just don't, if he was part of wanting to see what he'd do as a real rotation player, I think he would have been in the rotation to start the season. So part of me thinks that they're well, now with injuries he'll probably get more run, but I think it's trying to flip him into something at some point, keep doing that asset churning that they've been doing for the past few years with those young guys.
Mhm. Yeah, he can absolutely shoot the ball. There's just something like I don't know why he doesn't get on the floor more. It's interesting. I don't know. Like he's barely in the rotation, and the Jazz are the worst team in the NBA, and it makes me go like what is it a defense thing? Is it he just can shoot the ball? I don't know.
Yeah. Westbrook cannot shoot a free throw to save his life, though.
No, Westbrook. I guess I should. I don't know.
There we go. There's George.
There we go.
That raised the percentages.
I have a lot of agenda equity in Keontae George right now, so
You do. That's you put all your eggs in the George basket this season.
I did. Well, and here's my thinking is that I think what we've learned is he's not going to be a superstar. I think
Probably
that's
not.
safe to say. I mean,
Yeah.
never say never, but I do think if the shooting comes around and with what he's kind of shown us, he could play off of a superstar and potentially turn into like third scoring option type thing is kind of what I think he could be if you're looking at a championship team. And that's him hitting his ceiling. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like that'd be amazing. If the Jazz win a title with this is obviously pie in the sky, but if the Jazz get Cooper Flagg and Cam Boozer or something like that, and Key's our third guy, I'm pretty darn ecstatic. But I think that's the hope. I don't know if he'll get there, but that's what we're trying to learn this season.
Yeah. My agenda equity is kind of into Collier. After the preseason, I was just like all in on him, and haven't got to see much yet, but that was kind of my agenda for the season was to push that.
He's fun, and I think he does provide something Utah's missing. They need, like, I love Colin Sexton, like his attitude, and he is a very efficient like scorer. I think sometimes that's a little fool's gold a little bit because I think he does take advantage of weaker defenders who are guarding Markkanen and Keontae, and he's the one taking like the third defender, and it's a little like, well, I think a lot of people would do a little better, but he does make his shots, so you got to give him credit. But I just think one of the things the Jazz kind of miss, especially when Key's like the only kind of playmaking guard, and he's still learning the position. Like Collier brings that ability to like drive. He's super fast. He can definitely create openings for other players that I don't think he quite does. I think he has a chance to be, honestly, could be just such a fun backup point guard for 10 years if you want him to be. And if he can shoot the ball, then he becomes, really valuable.
Yeah. He's not going to be a superstar or an all-star, but he could be a great bench piece for a long time. And, I was kind of feeling that way about Filipowski, but I starting off with early 3-game predictions, I could see him being a starter in this league with just how he's been playing so far.
Oh, Filipowski? I think so. You said Filipowski, right?
Yeah, Filipowski.
Yeah, I think to me, his like, and maybe he can be a 4. He kind of reminds me a little bit of, I guess I say this every time, but he kind of reminds me of Vucevic a little bit, but he looks a little more fluid than Vucevic. So I don't know. I think if that's what he becomes, that's pretty darn nice. Got it. It's just not falling, pissing me off.
Not even close.
It's like, it's like some of these shots too that he was hitting last year that are not. So I'm like, what is going on?
It's a shot to the heart every time he shoots the ball for you.
It sucks. Well, he's 1 for 2 from 3, but and like last game he was 5 for 6 from 2. I don't know what is with the shooting. By the way, how are the Jazz? They're within 7. They've kind of quietly gone on a run here. This Denver Nuggets team is in, I'm not going to lie, they seem like in trouble. The only other team that seems a little more like I'd be in its scary hour is the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
I think the Nuggets will be like fine, but I think their depth is just, it's really catching up that they haven't really hit super hard on some of their picks. Like they've kind of hit. Brown is pretty good. Everyone keeps talking about Strother like he's this indie band that's really good that everyone hasn't really seen, and then you watch them, you're like, yeah, they're fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know, they are not impressing. And I think the big problem is Jamal Murray is just not looking like he did
No.
once upon a time.
I wonder what happened with that. I'm maybe he's just early season, just doesn't really care and is kind of, but
it's rough. He let's see. Well, and the thing is he was terrible in the Olympics. So it's not like new.
no.
Let's see.
But yeah, Jokic alone will get you to the playoffs regardless, and probably with home court advantage.
Yeah, they'll be fine. The thing is, Jokic is and Jokic never and that's what was interesting too, is someone mentioned that he's been having hamstring stuff, and I was like, I have never known him to ever have any injury of any kind. So to hear him have something is kind of almost, it's weird.
It's honestly, for him and Luka, it's kind of a cheat code because none of their game relies on athleticism, so they don't have to do much burst or much jumping or much high impact stuff. So they just kind of finesse their way through the games, which is, for longevity's sake, amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he can play as long as he wants. The question is, does he want to? But he is so big and so strong, and the most insane touch I've ever seen. I don't think there's ever been anyone that has had touch around the rim like him.
No.
And then he just extended it to the 3-point line. It's crazy how good he is on offense. It really is just bonkers.
Yeah, I could see if the Nuggets could, out of thin air, create $25 million of cap space. I think Collins could be theoretically interesting for them off the bench.
Oh, John Collins. Yeah. I mean, John Collins is a solid rotation player. It's like, it really is just his contract. If John Collins wasn't making $26 million, people would like him.
Yeah. There you go, Eubanks. How do you feel about Eubanks?
I love him. I just love how strong. You can just tell certain players are just. He looks like one of the most unsoft players. I like that right there is just like there's no softness in him at all.
No.
Like, no, I am taking this ball out of your hands. Like, you know how Rudy got dunked, and this is a little Rudy shade, but there's a little softness sometimes to how Rudy does certain things. Like, it drives me crazy as a Jazz fan watching him not dunk certain basketballs. Like, dunk the ball, Shaq that. You are 7 foot. You're bigger than everyone, literally. Be Shaq, and I guess easier said than done. But I love that. I love that Eubanks is just strong. And you like that dunk that Brown did on Rudy last night. By the way, have you watched the different angles of that taunt?
Yeah.
That taunt that Brown did is so weird looking when you watch it from he's like doing it's like I was watching it on my phone and I actually started laughing because it's like the stupidest fight ever. Because Brown looks
I know.
Brown looks dumb. Like, what is this? Like, and then Rudy kind of ragdolls him, which is kind of funny. And then Rudy flinches when Russell Westbrook. I don't know. It is really just such a dumb fight.
You got to act like you've been there before for all of them. For Rudy, you're going to push somebody. You got to act like you've been there before. Brian, if you're going to dunk on somebody, you got to act like you've been there before. But none of them, all of them just lost it.
Russell Westbrook runs up on him 100 miles an hour to not do anything. Like, like, okay.
It
was.
What about Eubanks? Yeah, what's so funny to me is you can clearly see that when it comes to like basketball skill, like there isn't much going on there.
No,
like
there's not.
There is not much going on there. And he somehow continues. He just kind of just is trying. He's like that one football player that you had on your basketball team growing up, that had no idea what they were doing, but they just tried really hard because they play football. That's exactly what Eubanks is.
He
in the
does look like literally like a tight end that just picked up basketball. Did you see how he just knocked Jokic though? Like he's just strong, and you can tell he's a guy that goes to pick up every week and plays really hard. And I don't know, I just like that aspect that if everyone played like Drew Eubanks, it would be such a tough league. But like the moral of that whole story was like there was no way Christian Brown would have dunked on Drew Eubanks like that. It would have been like There Will Be Blood the movie. I don't know. That's what I do. I just want players, and I honestly wonder if that was Danny Ainge saying we need to start having tough players on this team. You know,
It had
I
to
don't
be
know.
because of a Kessler, 100%. Somebody needs to push Kessler in practice every day, and that's Eubanks.
And you know what? It does. There's so much Kessler smoke right now. It's kind of crazy. And then we were talking about it in that SLC Dunk chat, and I was sitting in the gym doing my lift, and I was like, and Michael, who I love Michael, but he is the most prolific message person. Like he will write 5 paragraphs in like 30 seconds, and it comes from him being manager and just writing these articles. And by the way, I got to be more Michael like with my writing. I'm going to start doing an article every day. Just like a quick jazz note thing, even if it's a short thing on the latest jazz, whatever. But and I probably do a video about it too. I whether that all happens, we'll see. But I did dawn on me when he talked on that and talking about the agents, and then we looked at like who Kessler's agency is. Obviously, that makes sense with the New York Knicks with CAA, and then the fact that like Denver, who is very CAA connected, or not Denver, the Lakers. It was like, yeah, I kind of wonder what's going on behind the scenes, because if Utah is having to do all of this just to make Walker Kessler tougher, and I think that's, if I'm Will Hardy, I'm probably a little frustrated too, because it's like, it's kind of the same thing with Rudy. Like, my man, you are 7'1". You are such a good natural shot blocker and rim protector. You have like more natural God-given talents than 99.9% of people on this planet. Like, and if you had the toughness and mentality of like a Drew Eubanks, like, could you imagine if Walker had that same kind of toughness factor of Eubanks? He'd be just a beast. You know what I mean? He would be. And so it's just, I think that's where I wouldn't be surprised if Utah is very much like, because there's like, and this is one of the things, and I got to get in the room with somebody and talk to him, and I got to maybe talk to Tony Jones or something, but I want to like find out, and I don't know if they would ever tell me. Maybe I need to go to dinner with like Andy Larson or something, but there 100% are different text threads out there and groups you can be a part of where you get these things, and I would not be surprised if like the agency network out there is something where like a Danny Ainge goes out and says, hey, not saying we're trading him or imminently, not saying he's asking for one, even though I kind of am starting to wonder if Kessler did quietly say I wouldn't mind going somewhere else. But it does seem like Danny Ainge is like, hey, if you want him, let's talk type thing. But then the thing is Danny Ainge also asks for 2 first-round picks. And so I don't know if something actually happens.
Well, I think if you're getting D'Lo, I'd ask for a first-round pick with D'Lo just to take D'Lo's contract. He's not even got a crazy contract, but I just don't. Taking on D'Lo is just taking on dead money.
Well, it's dead money, and it's bad locker room stuff, and it's, well, are you saying you'd take D'Lo?
I'd take him with the first-round pick attached.
Oh, like a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's the question, and it sounds like Utah doesn't want D'Lo. I guess the question is, do you want D'Lo taking all these minutes, key off the bench, and we never see Collier? That's the question. You know what I mean?
Probably not is probably the answer. I think that one's one that I'm assuming Danny and co think as well.
Yeah, and honestly, D'Lo will have games, and I watched, if you remember when he was on Brooklyn, when it was like the D'Lo show, he won them games here and there. Like, he'll have stretches where, I mean, I don't like it. He's not a winning player in my opinion, at least championship winning player. But he is a guy that will go into a fourth quarter and beat like the Wizards.
Yeah.
And he'll do stuff like that, and that's not what I don't know.
Not what we need. He's not gonna be on the next great Jazz team, so don't see the point.
And we already got dead money in John Collins. We got dead money. Well, Colin Sexton isn't dead money, but
no.
But Jordan Clarkson is, that's for sure.
Jordan Clarkson is twice dead money. I don't know how you do it, but
there's the indie band making a shot. Strother.
Hey. There it is.
That's their hit. I like Filipowski's form.
Me too.
It looks really smooth.
I like this. That's what I like the most is that, if he gets a rebound, you can just kind of push everybody up and he'll take it up and he'll, kick it off to somebody.
And his passing is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. It picks up the pace of the game when you don't have to get it to a guard every time you get a rebound.
Oh, absolutely. And it does, if you have good transition players, you can do some things. I do want to see Cody Williams get some threes.
Yeah. Juzang, two fouls on threes.
Yeah, you know what? Juzang might be working himself. Well, he earned himself another contract, which congrats to Johnny Juzang.
Yeah.
But he's kind of the new George Niang, where I think another team is eventually he's going to be on someone else at some point and probably have a little bigger role. Although you never know. I don't know what Utah thinks about Juzang. Obviously enough to keep him, but
yeah, it'd make me sad if we traded him because I kept running into him over the past few years at bars. Every bar I went to, I'd run into Johnny Juzang. It was like a...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just here in Salt Lake?
Just here in Salt Lake. Yeah, go to a bar up, there's Johnny again.
Well, if he's enjoying Utah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
KG10, you're bullish on Sexton. I mean, honestly, Sexton is arguably, our second, third best player? He's very solid. I just think Sexton, to me, his ceiling is kind of the sixth man on a very, very good team. And it seems like that's what Utah thinks of him because they put him there when they have a full kind of roster. But I can't believe how many injuries we have already, actually.
It's got to be some kind of record. I don't know what kind of record, but it's got to be some kind of record.
It's also last time we were on Sven, actually we were on the Sven, or not the Sven, the Taylor Hendricks crazy injury.
Yeah.
Such a weird stream to be a part of.
Oh, I know. What a first stream that really kicked off the season. Great.
That was a crazy one.
Yeah, we got to ask Michael about whether there's a record there. I'm sure he's going to find something.
Oh, absolutely. Let's see. Markkanen, Clarkson, Collier, Hendricks. But Mike and Potter and Preston don't play.
No. What would you do with... I always wonder what they do, what management ideas are with the two-way players. Like what's the purpose of the two-way players for the team? If you were a general manager, how are you using those two slots?
Oh, with a two-way, that's a good question. What I would do, for me, it's always just the Jazz seem to always go after players that they know have a certain skill. Like a Johnny Juzang is kind of that, where they just like, well, we know he can shoot. They seem to be doing that with Shibwe. I don't know if he's on a two-way, but they know he can rebound. That's his kind of. And so I guess I kind of don't mind it seems like the Jazz take a guy like that has an elite skill or a high-level skill, and can we get another one?
Yeah.
Or can we turn you into a rotation player? I actually kind of like that idea. I personally if it were me, I would just get athletes. I just want the most athletic guys out there. And what can we
Hmm.
just, and that easier said than done, but can we get guys that are big, long, and athletic? And if they
Yeah.
can't shoot, can we get them and see if we can get them there where they do?
Right.
Like someone like, I think a great example that turned into a really nice player is Lou Dort, who just
Hmm.
could not shoot at all, but he's just so big and so strong and really pretty athletic. And then he turned into a pretty good shooter. So
Yeah. I think
honestly,
partly
oh, go ahead.
what they do is, I think the whole Potter and Preston with Juzang, they just picked him up right after the draft, right? Because he went undrafted and they just picked him up. And I think that's a great strategy of just picking up people who might have some skill but go undrafted. But I think that the way I thought about it is I see him with like Potter. Potter doesn't seem like they got any interest in putting him on the floor at any point. If he's not traveling with the team to Denver right now when we don't have anybody, I don't think they have any intention of letting him touch the floor. I think it must be that they find players that are really good at emulating players in the NBA during practice. So Potter can play
Mm,
like he can be X, Y, and Z player in practice really well, and in terms of training and practice, he's a good shoe in for that. That's what I've always kind of considered what they do with those two roles.
that's actually, and that's probably exactly what that's a great point. Like it's basically like practice squad. Uh, Great point, and I'm sure that's what they're going. Potter also is just like a, what do they say, consummate pro.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he's really he's perfect, like you said. He's perfect for in practice, like playing kind of like the stretch big. And you can play him in a pinch if you need to, but he is not impacting the games. So that does make sense because if you're only getting guys that you think have upside and they can't actually do anything in practice, then maybe that's not super effective.
Yeah.
Um, that's a good point.
On the flip side, though, then you're just kind of using spots for things that Juzang's a great example of it working out. I mean, he's an NBA player now. He's not even a two-way player. So
Yeah, Juzang is a legit player, and I think he'll be in the league for the next. He's not going to be one of those guys that kind of fizzles out. He's, like, would you rather have who's the one that just signed with the Shanghai Sharks?
Kenny Lofton.
Kenny Lofton. Like, I think I'd rather have Johnny Juzang than Kenny Lofton because Lofton
Yeah.
is kind of the idea of Kenny Lofton is really fun, but the reality is a guy that doesn't shoot super efficiently kind of hogs the ball, where Juzang shoots it efficiently and he does move the ball, seems to like try to make the right play.
Oh, yeah. Agreed.
No way. I think Filipowski is going to be a rotation player for the Jazz for a long time.
Yeah. I think so too.
That was honestly a nice pickup because if you get a guy, especially, and they got him in the second round,
Mm-hmm.
but if he becomes a rotation player, second round picks don't ever turn into anything ever. It's
No.
so rare. And so that's why Jokic is like, if you argued pick position, the best pick ever. And like Draymond Green, but they just don't. It's for every Draymond Green, there's literally hundreds of players that don't even
Yeah.
sniff a roster.
Yeah.
So if Filipowski becomes anything, it's just amazing. He's already
Yeah.
looking like he can shoot the three. He looks like he passes. It's to me, it's just like a toughness defense thing.
Yeah. I also, um, when it comes to second round picks, I kind of refuse to believe that the NBA teams are, sold on any of the second round picks that they take, because I just don't think that's possible to be. So I think it's like, 25% scouting, 75% luck on those.
Absolutely. I mean, it's got to be hard too because you're trying to get like uh, intel. I think so much because so many of these guys are so similar. Like, but do you know what they are mentality wise? Honestly, so much of as I get older, I think that's such a. I mean, are they a little crazy? Do they? I don't know. Do they care about this to a crazy level? And
Right.
then those guys seem to do pretty good.
Yeah.
Like Colin Sexton, he's crazy. He really is.
kind of insane, and that's one thing I love about Sexton.
Yeah.
Some of these guys, they just don't seem. That's what makes me a little worried about Kessler. Is like, and maybe it's just his like mannerisms that they don't come across to me as someone who's like, I'm gonna slaughter this man.
Yeah.
Like,
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Agreed. Yeah.
Like I want like I like that's why I like guys that like get technicals for taunting and stuff like that because they
Yeah.
care. You know what I mean? I swear one thing that was so hard, and honestly it was a little hard to watch, was like Kessler would get like dunked on last year, and it would honestly he'd be just like dejected.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Hey, that's one place where you can give Rudy some credit is he'll get in a fight with you if he gets dunked on.
oh yeah, Rudy cares. Like Rudy, that's the thing is, there's some things. Rudy's a great player. I mean, I got my Rudy bobbleheads up here. I love Rudy, but like with Kessler, it's just like he would get like he like, oh crap, I'm gonna be on ESPN, or
Yeah.
this is gonna be all over Twitter, and then he'd just be like down, and it's like I think mentality, competitiveness, work ethic, if the guys have that, very good chance they become. That's why I would be really surprised if Cooper Flag doesn't become insanely good, because
Right.
he just has that kind of that care factor that's like at 100, and those guys just succeed even if they don't hit quite their ceiling. They succeed.
Oh, good job, Eubanks.
Yeah, Eubanks.
Yeah, Svi Mikhailuk signing. Look at that.
That's right. We're getting Svi Mikhailuk minutes. That's where the season's at right now.
Yeah.
Eubanks
Oh, you're
hook
kidding.
shot.
Oh, you're kidding.
Look at that! Yes,
True
Eubanks.
Eubanks and Johnny Juzang game. They are leading scorers. Pencil that in as look at that.
Is Drew Eubanks my favorite player? Yes.
Come on, 6-point game.
Who are these Nuggets? Down by 6. Get out of here, Mike Malone. I ain't calling you Michael. I like Sheboy cheering him on from the bench.
Yeah.
Let's get Sheboy in there. Why not?
I know, might as well. Run the double big. Run Sheboy and
yeah, run no shooting.
Yeah.
Screw it. We're going the other way. We're gonna go triple down rebounding. That's what
might as well. Oh my goodness.
Speed.
One part where I think Hardy, I might be the bad guy in the room when I say this, but I think Hardy sometimes gets up onto the podium and kind of starts preaching a little bit about like mentality and stuff sometimes, and it just kind of, I'm like, well, coach saying coach things. But when he says that sometimes the Jazz players don't play like, their careers are on the line, which they kind of is for most of them, I think he has a point. And right now, we're gonna lose this game, but they're playing like careers on the line, which is awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
It's great to see.
That was, and where you just talking about, that was what they were talking about. Like, guys need to, like, this matters.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Crazy. Jalen Shafino looked like a great prospect, near lottery level. He's not going to be in the league next year. Like
no.
And it's funny. Colin Sexton has turned his career around, which is so impressive. But he was like, it was not clear he was going to get a contract with Cleveland, and Utah came in. What a weird 2 years we've had, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Son of a gun. I watched, and I don't want to like. I'm rooting for Taylor Hendricks. I think Taylor Hendricks is going to be a comeback, and he's going to be a very good NBA player. But my goodness, does Amen Thompson look nice on?
Oh, I know.
He's like figuring it out with his shooting. So it is what it is. I'm glad we're finally all in. But
yeah, and it's kind of insane how both the twins are just, when you see their athleticism and the way they just rise up. It sometimes defies logic, just seeing somebody that quick and that athletic.
It's
You
crazy.
can't teach that. You just can't teach it.
Nope. It's just greatest athletes on the earth type stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah. Mikhailuk making an impact too.
Oh my gosh, yes. Walker Kessler dominating this Nuggets team. Get out of here, Nuggets.
Just what we expected.
Exactly.
Just what we expected.
Me, Mikhailuk, baby. You know what? Here's another thing that I would ask for the Jazz to do, and this is nothing against Svi, but just as a blogger, can you pick up guys that are easy to spell? Like you know how hard it was to type Hood Shafino like 5 times on that little and like I have to like double check it all I have to pull up like the basketball reference just to make sure I'm spelling it right.
That was when we were doing when Nikola Alexander Walker was on the team, that was just an absolute killer. That one just it's not a hard name to spell, but you just gotta type so many letters.
It is a lot. And so Cooper Flag, easy to spell, double G, gotta remember the double G.
Yeah.
GG for good game.
Yeah.
But Ace Bailey, easy to write.
Easy.
Dylan Harper. Harper is an easy one to write. And
yeah.
So let's get top 3 just for the spelling. You can use nicknames, James. Yes, S69, but got to have some sort of. I know we're not like the Deseret News or the Salt Lake Tribune, but we do have to have some sort of writing integrity, journalistic integrity with our writing. Full name first, last name for the rest of the article, right?
Yeah. That's how I do it.
And try not to say we and us, although I don't care at this point. Whatever.
Yeah.
If the Jazz won't let us in the locker room because we're a fan blog, according to Derek, then so be it.
You think it happens one day? You think it happens?
No,
it's kind of.
I don't. I've tried. No, they're buttheads. Yeah. So that's what always happens and it's happened to me. And I try to be nice, and I try to not report things that aren't. We don't want to be a TMZ blog. But I don't mind being the villain. I don't mind telling the truth. That's actually one of the appeals of SLC Dunk. That is why SLC Dunk is the #1 blog. And arguably our numbers compete with the Tribune and Deseret. But we have an advantage because we're not in the locker rooms. We can say whatever we want.
Yeah.
And that actually, there's a lot of value in that. I actually was listening to Bill Simmons talk about that, and I was like, you know what? You're 100% right. I can say the truth that no one else is going to say because I don't have to go and interview Deontay George tomorrow or Walker Kessler. I can call Walker Kessler soft, and I don't have to talk to him the next day.
Yeah.
And so, not saying Walker Kessler soft, but
you could.
I could, and I can say that, and that's value, and that's where SLC Dunk has so much value is it's uncensored.
Great finish by Williams.
Yeah, Cody Williams, great finisher.
Yeah.
That's nice moves right there. Utah tied, well, now down 2, with the Denver Nuggets.
Maybe this is the day.
If this is the game the Jazz win, I'm going to be pretty mad.
Pretty mad, yeah.
I just don't want him to win a single game.
No.
But it would be fun actually to beat Jokic and the Nuggets.
It'd be hilarious. I kind of love watching. I don't know why. I know that we don't actually really have any rivalries with anybody anymore, just because we're bad. But there was a stretch there where every time I played the Nuggets, I was just like, I can't stand to see them win against us.
Because I was such a Rudy fan, and I had. Here's I hate Jokic, but it's based off of arguments I've had with Matt Malone, Hardwood Paroxysm, and other arguments I've had with other people. Adam Mares and all those guys have pissed me off so many times, and for everything to just work out for them,
yeah,
in a way that it did not work out for us in any way.
No.
ours ended in complete and utter heartbreak.
It was a dumpster
And-
fire.
Yeah, no, it like in horrible ways. Like Donovan
Yeah.
Mitchell, like hating Utah and leaving and everything going so bad and just
Yeah.
madness all around.
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert, and being like you said, we're clowned on always.
Always.
And then the Denver Nuggets get like all the love. Like
Yeah.
every blogger, like Zach Lowe and every single other writer, just loving them. Bill Simmons just gushes, and it's like, so I enjoy watching them lose. I had like a fight with Michael Pina last year, and man, it was so. When the Nuggets got eliminated, it was just like, I don't care. I may lose my account today. I don't care. I am. I am John Wicking every one of you on this website.
I really hope one day we can be in the position to just like sit up from the throne and just say whatever we want because we won.
Well, that's the thing that's why I want like a Cooper Flagg or an Ace Bailey, where you just have that guy. Like that's what's nice about being a Nuggets fan, is you just know that you take the lead back. It's not even complicated. Like it just you watch the Jazz were literally tied, and now the score is back to Nuggets by 5. It's crazy. That's why he's so incredible. I want that for Utah. I want like our guy that comes in and just swings the game. How crazy, how fun would that be? And I've talked about it a lot, but that's kind of how it was with Malone. Like you just, once he was on the floor, he just crushed people, and he would just get 25 and 12 every night. And it was just like, it didn't matter who. I want that again. I want that feeling again. Darren Williams was kind of like that a little bit. Got close.
Yeah, there was 2019 and 2020. I think I think it's like just because of the Boyan injury and Mike Conley having a child and all of that stuff in the bubble that kind of ruined that run. Not that Mike Conley having a child ruined it, but you know what I mean. The absences just kind of hindered everything. That season, though, leading up to the playoffs, I mean, that was seriously some of the best basketball I had watched from any Utah Jazz jersey my entire life. That was just beautiful, beautiful stuff, and just can't get a break.
No, and to lose the way we did with like going back up 3-1 and then losing it, and in such like just like Bambi getting killed, I don't know, or just old Yeller style getting just, I don't know, it was so bad. And it was hard because we had 2 stars, absolutely all stars, but also flawed players. I just want, and you talked, well, when you first mentioned two-way players, I thought you were talking offense, defense, but obviously contracts. But one thing it does seem like Utah is trying to do, and Cody Williams, a good example, is like long, athletic guys that play both sides of the floor. That's what Boston does. They have guys, every single guy defends, every single guy is strong, and every single guy can score.
And they've got a GM who made a deal with the devil so that he can just win every trade. We got to get that to happen too. Danny
that would be
was
nice.
Almost there, but I don't know how Brad Stevens. Who would have thought that Brad Stevens would be an even better GM than he was coach?
He's really been so good. He really has. Come on, Key. Man, janky jumper from Brown. I mean, in Rudy's defense, he has a very punchable face.
He does, and his haircut sucks. His haircut.
And then when he's like literally in your chest, like doing this, I just think that would also set off a lot of, like, Westbrook. Would you like that? Would you like that, Russell Westbrook? I don't think you would. Draymond Green also would not like that. I promise you. If someone did that to Draymond Green, I imagine he would react similarly.
Yeah, it would go great. It wouldn't go great. It wouldn't go great for the person who did that to Draymond Green. That's actually what it would.
Exactly, but they just, and so but Rudy is kind of a little goofy. Like 3 months to end, so whatever.
Yeah.
I don't have to defend Rudy anymore, so I'm not gonna worry about it.
No, but it's like it's instinctual. It's built. It's a habit that's been built. We're like those the lab rats that every single time we hear the buzzer click or something like that, we're ready for the food. We're ready to go do whatever. We can't help it.
Codium, here you go. VIP, here you go. You know what? I gotta go through roles. We got some in here because we're getting full on our VIPs. And is there anyone?
S69, you are right. The 3-ball, don't go in for the Jazz. Not one bit. You seen this? Speaking of, being a blog that can say what we want to say without, having to see the players. You see this whole Joel Embiid, getting into encounter with the columnist.
I didn't see that. Joel Embiid?
Yeah. They sent it to Cato sent it to the chat.
Oh, did he? I didn't even see that.
Yeah. Apparently, the columnist said some pretty unfortunate things.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Shams got an altercation with the columnist following tonight's game. Embiid took issue with a recent column that referenced his late brother and son, and Embiid shoved the columnist. No punch. Uh-oh. Yeah, you're right. We could say whatever we want, and I ain't gonna get shoved. I don't think I'd write about Embiid's. I think that's where I also try to avoid his brother and son. Like, I'm not gonna reference family ever.
It got no reason to do that. No reason to do that.
No, but ooh, that's interesting. Well, it's nice to see Joel Embiid caring about something.
Yeah, it is. It is. He's
certainly not interested in playing in the league this year.
Yeah. It is unfortunate, though. Looking at my most successful articles through, I think it's almost been 4 years, 5 years. They've all been, unfortunately, articles that are a bit negative, which is you hate to see sometimes. So as writers, we kind of get kind of caught up in that, I think, sometimes. Not to justify what that columnist said. I don't think that's a columnist, but
if he's writing something that's kind of negative about their family, that's I don't know. I don't think the league is going to look too bad on that. But I mean, you can write about family if they know about it and the family wants to, and it's like a happy, heartwarming thing. Then great. But don't include family. Like the whole thing, we don't really know. I up online and heard some things with like Andrew Wiggins and last year not playing a lot. And there's just no way to know. And that's the one thing, and I've talked with Harrison about this with articles and videos. It gains you nothing. Like it honestly gains you nothing. If you may get a few extra clicks because of like the draw of something being kind of a spectacle, but then from that point on, people look at your blog a certain way from then on. Like, and like this guy is now known for this forever. You know what I mean? And so it's just not worth it. It really isn't. Like if it's, or if there's some sort of controversy going on with some player, it's just better to leave things alone. Just, even with like the Taylor Hendricks thing, I was just like, you know what? We gain nothing by showing it in the article. No. People are going to find it when they want. So just reference it, talk about it. Don't have to show it.
Yep. I think it's somewhat flawed that in the review system that you can review a certain play, an outcome of a play, like the out of bounds, and you can be correct in saying that ball was not out of bounds on us, but then the review is that you fouled and that's why I went out of bounds. I think that kind of defeats the purpose of the review. If you can,
I don't know if it's better this year. Yeah. Like we saw that. I can't remember which game it was, but we had a team like challenge to play against us, and then they found out that they fouled us, so it actually helped us out, but they won the challenge.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I
I
guess
mean, it's like saying, reviewing if a play is a catch in a football game, and then saying, well, the play was a catch, but there was holding on the play earlier, so we're not going to count it as a catch, even though we didn't catch it while it was live. I mean, that just wouldn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm. I in general am kind of pro review just because of the trauma from the Jazz Bulls finals.
Yeah.
And which was honestly some like, oh man, some questionable things. But they got to make it fast, and it's got to be like, I don't know. It's interesting. So the NBA kind of does things before they're ready for them, and it happens a lot. It happened with my YouTube channel. Like I used to be able to use, like last season, I was able to use, what's it called? I had IP rights to the NBA stuff, and the NBA gets views and revenue.
Mm-hmm.
More and doing it themselves, but they don't have the resources to vet out all these YouTubers now. So all these YouTubers don't have IP rights because the NBA went before they were ready. And I think they do the same thing with some of these things. They kind of go and they do it, and then they don't. It's crazy for a literal multi-billion-dollar, like, well, and they're not the multi-billion-dollar, it's all the owners, but for that, I mean, they are a big time. It's questionable, like, timing of things. I don't know. It is weird stuff. Yes, X69, three ball don't go in for Jazz. That is the kind of the analysis for the season. Tank Trey, absolutely. Let's see. Tonight, who's shooting it well? I will say this, and this is just my little key bias, but he's only taken 4 shots, which is if he's not making it, then at least he's not bombing it.
He's not forcing it.
Which, in my opinion, is developing.
Yeah. That's
man, Jokic comes. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say Jokic comes in, and now it's 56-42. We were. Did they go on a 16-0 run? Because weren't we tied at 42? That's crazy.
Precisely.
I do want to just see a little more from Cody Williams.
He hasn't hit the rim on a 3 yet, I don't think.
No.
I think that we can. He's walking it in. He's like a golfer. He's just walking it in. Just find the backboard first, find the rim next, and then he'll start going in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is now the first points since we were tied 42-42. That's crazy.
Yep. I kind of don't know. I don't really agree with the Filipowski only playing 7 minutes in the half so far. It looks like he's going to be getting back in here soon, but there you go, Kessler.
There you go. Yeah, and I want to see him more. I tell you what, I mean, it's so interesting where the Jazz are at right now. Kind of thinking of Lowry Markkanen. This is probably not what Lowry expected, or maybe he did.
Maybe.
Man, Walker just blocked a Jokic. That is not a small thing. Although that ball looked like it fell out of Jokic's hands. That was weird.
Yeah.
Michael Porter is becoming an absolute problem for the Nuggets because he makes a lot of money.
He does.
What is he averaging?
He averages, I think, 15 contested threes a game, probably, is what I'd assume. That he just find you a contested three, he's got it.
He's having a good game against us.
He is.
But for the season, 15.8 points per game. I'm just going to do a quick little. Yes!
There you go, Keontae.
Yes! Hell yeah, dude! That's right, everyone! I'm like that guy on the podium meme. Like, finally! It's like a positive 3-point percentage tonight.
I bet that's gonna raise it from 20%. I bet it's gonna make a serious impact to go if he goes 3 for 4 or something tonight. I mean,
You bet. And if it's like 36, you know I'm tweeting it like 30 times.
yeah.
So Michael
You gotta. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. No, I want that so bad. Here's what I do. I hide in my cave, but
Yeah.
if things go my way, I come out of that cave. But anyways, 35 million a year for Porter Jr. It goes to 38 and then 40 in 26, 27.
It's a lot.
That's a lot for 15 points per game. And I guess not every player has to be 25 points per game to get a max contract. But when you're like the third option and really what you do is shoot threes,
It's a lot of money.
that is a lot of money. You know, go ahead.
You haven't started your Keontae George key
Ring?
threes thread on the SLC Dunk Twitter. You haven't done that yet.
I don't know if I'm doing that yet. It's been a little he's got to get a little more consistent because it invokes mockery. So here's the thing, and this is something that maybe someone like Rudy Gobert needs to learn, is you need to learn so much of trash talk is timing. Because most trash talk, you got to have like an inner clock of like probability that this is not going to go bad for me. You know what I mean? That's why every team is like clowning on us because they know they're going to win. There's not a scenario where Utah's going to come back and make them eat their words.
No.
Maybe next year.
Maybe. Probably
not. Right now, Key is in a major slump, and I'm sorry, Key. The key ring, I mean, it's buzzing in my pocket a little bit, but it's not coming out yet. But actually, you know what? Maybe I will. Screw it.
He's made two. He's made two.
Most of these people are sad anyway. What do I care?
Yeah.
Let's see. It's such a dark existence as a Jazz fan right now. But let's see. He's made two.
That's all you need. That's enough.
Yeah, 2 keys on the key ring. I tell you what, I'm not out on Keon at all, to be honest.
No, I'm not either.
But it's been rough for us on Keontae Island. It's been a little bit of hurricane winds, a little bit. And I've already said it, but I do think his playmaking and his decision making got a little better. I know Joe Schmo on Twitter will say, "Well, he got 7 turnovers," but like he's running the point, you know. And most players average 2 to 4 turnovers per game anyway. That is what happens when you handle the ball in the NBA and you're playing 36 minutes a game. That's just how it goes. He needs to get them down to 2 to 3 a game. You know, that's where you want to be because he does have some bad ones, but I feel like it's gotten a little bit better.
It has.
But the thing is in the end, and this is probably reductionist, but the most important player isn't even on our team yet.
He's not.
It's not.
No.
I am so. I don't know if you've watched the Bonsa film, but that guy, oh my gosh, I have never seen a guy that age, that polished. Like I think DeBonsa would come into the NBA and average 20 points per game now. He's unbelievable. He plays these high school games. I've watched like 2 or 3 of his high school games, just watched a full game. And he plays at like 60-70% and it's just effortless. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know. He is Ace Bailey's a little like him. I think DeBonsa is just a more overall polished. It's crazy how polished. It's crazy. I don't know how these kids get so good so fast. It's wild.
I don't know either.
It's
my only experience playing with like, you know, real talented players is I played against. I don't know if you know who like Rylan Jones was. He played for Utah.
I think I've heard the
University
name,
of
but not
Utah.
really.
Played for Utah State as well. But I played against him a number of times, and he was just a college player, not even NBA level player. And you just wonder, like the skill level, the polish, the like IQ, and you realize that these kids are in a different league than everybody else.
I mean, my boy, he played AAU a little bit, and I don't think he doesn't have the body and stuff to become. I don't think he loves basketball like I do. So I was like, well, let's play football. So he's doing football and he's doing college football next year. But man, you'd watch some of those AAU kids, and it is pretty impressive. Like some of the kids, you're seeing a 6'10" kid playing AAU, but for like DeBonsa and Bailey, for them to shoot like they do and move like they do at 6'9", 6'10", it is wild. It is so crazy.
Yeah.
It is, yeah, and you go into those gyms, it's really quickly. You're like, oh yeah, that's the kid right there.
Yeah.
Like, I know who I'm supposed to scout today.
Yeah, I got to think about it much.
And you just watch them. I tell you what, the guy I was in love with it was 2 years ago, was Bilal. And the reason why I think Cooper Flagg is going to be awesome is kind of the thing we saw with Bilal. It really is like a trajectory thing. Like it is, in general, like it's weird how, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like their brain is able to learn it and incorporate it, and do it and grow.
Yeah.
And you saw that with Bilal. Like he just went exponential. Like this guy's going from not being able to shoot to like handling the ball, throwing out assists, defending the best. Like it was like very clear this guy is on like a trajectory. And then you combine that with the athleticism and length and size. It was like this guy has a chance to be really nice. And so I'm not that surprised he's doing it. But that's the thing with Cooper is like he's shooting it like he wasn't in high school already. Like he's already like knocking down threes. The form looks better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Cooper's going to be so freaking good. And if he's on the Jazz, there's going to be so many babies named Cooper in this thing.
I just have such a hard time, not just being just thinking the worst, because I'm just like, we might lose every game. We might lose 82 games this season,
and we'll
drop to 5. Yeah. It
could happen.
Tough.
It could happen. I guess, and if that happens, it's whatever.
It's whatever.
And I tell you what, I might draft.
Oh, another
They
one.
took away his 3. It's a conspiracy. It's a
Wait, maybe it did count.
Did it count? No,
I think so.
There's some people on my YouTube channel that they made some comments. They aren't making them tonight, I can tell you that.
I counted.
Did it count? Oh, baby. So
Eubanks gets the N1, I think.
Oh, yeah. What was that? Oh, man, this makes my heart happy. 3 for 5 from 3. Huh. Interesting.
It's pretty good.
Interesting. Did I do that from my personal? Dang it. I got to change. By the way, I did do it from my personal. Well, then we got to do it from my personal.
Here comes 4.
Yeah, baby.
Here comes 4. All right.
No.
Talk to you soon.
Keyring is back.
Keyring's back.
The Keontae baby search has already started. Maybe. There is a lot of kids named Stockton walking around.
There are lots of kids named Stockton, which is not a bad name.
It's a good name.
It's a good name.
I don't mind it. Cooper's a good name. I like it.
Cooper's a good name. There we go.
Hey.
There you go, Keontae. Looks more confident tonight. That's for
He
sure.
looks happy. And you know what? And we can talk about the body language too. Sometimes it's bad. He
Yeah.
seems to be getting back on defense a little better.
Yeah.
He still does the thing where he gets like frustrated and kind of lowers his shoulders, and then they get a three or like a layup in transition, and that sucks. And he can't do that. And he had the one where he hung on the rim. That was bad news, Bears. That was bad.
That was bad news, Bears. That was bad.
It
That
was
was
very bad.
unfortunate.
He sat a little longer after those 2 games, which is props to Will Hardy. But it seems like a little better. I don't know.
Yeah.
But some people,
Juicing playing great. You know, that was a great.
Juzang is a solid NBA player. I agree with you. I don't know why he doesn't play a little more. It's got to be defense, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know either, but sometimes sometimes I don't buy the whole like, well, we're not in the room, so you know, it's hard. It's easy for us to say, you know, from the outside, but sometimes it just like, you know, i.e. Exum, it's just like, well, you ain't got to be in the room to see why somebody's not playing. It's not about on floor stuff.
Oh, you invoked the name of Exum.
Oh, I know. I still hold a grudge. You know, if you remember, I don't know if you had it ever, but when Exum and Hood were rookies, they handed out in summer league games the Exum Hood like T-shirts. I still got that thing.
Oh, that's an incredible thing to have, actually.
Yeah.
Those are the things you want to hold on to, like for real. That's actually amazing.
Yeah.
I have like my friend at work gave me what was his name that played for us? They played like I can't remember his name, but like it's a bobblehead of the most like random jazz player of all time. And those types of things are actually incredible. Like I actually do want to get a Westbrook Jazz jersey because he's technically a 2-time Jazz player.
Yeah. That'd be incredible.
Is it halftime? I didn't even realize.
Yep.
Well, this is cool. I like them when they do the Heritage Night at the U.
Yeah.
I'm gonna quickly just look around the NBA. So I actually have to say this has been a fun game. He's like playing better, at least shooting better. Cody Williams still can't hit a 3, which is disappointing. But I think we're gonna see a late season like surge from Cody Williams at some point, and hopefully sooner than later.
I don't think he's acclimated at all to.
No.
I think that it's pretty obvious that he's still kind of, he gets on the floor and he's kind of still just like, what do I do here? Which is completely understandable. You know, I wouldn't blame him. He'll get over that, I think, by midseason.
Mm-hmm. And it's got to be shocking to get on the floor and see the caliber of athlete and skill level. It's just got to be honestly kind of shocking. Like, holy smokes, this is the worst team in the league, and this Keontae kid is not like, I don't know, like you play against like the Bulls, and you're guarding Zach LaVine, like, and you know what I mean? And he's a guy that teams don't want to trade for, and he's like top tier athlete and 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
So it's
I think Zachary Risachet said something the other week where it was like, I was the most athletic guy in France in every game I came into, and now I go to the NBA and I'm just like everybody else. And that's the case for everybody. That's the case for if your name isn't Amen Thompson, that's the case.
Well, that's actually a great quote because it's true. Like, it's true. You're like, do we think that Zachary Risachet is a better athlete than like Anthony Edwards or Amen Thompson? He's not.
No.
But so that's where it's like these players come to the league and they're like, holy crap, I've been the best player on the floor my entire life. And now I'm guarding LeBron James.
Yeah.
So like you have to just like at that point, Do you
Yeah.
have the mental toughness to like grow and learn and improve your craft? And
Yeah.
because then that's when the skill has to catch up, like,
Yeah.
oh, I've got to be able to do this and this and this and this. And I've got to do it better than most people in the world, or I'm not going to make it.
Yep. And that's what made Donovan Mitchell's rookie season so incredible. I mean, that was just nuts.
It
You
really
could
was
just tell
crazy.
off the bat that it was just like, oh yeah, he's got it. There's, he's got a lot to work on, but he's got it.
Yeah, Donovan, like top tier athlete in the league. And then just the thing is he really was a great like. He was just a superb rookie, like really great.
That was the year Rodney Hood was supposed to take the reins too.
I know.
I can't believe that
Back,
was the reality we lived in. That Rodney Hood being your first option.
that was our hopes and dreams was Rodney Hood. So guys, it's been worse before. It has been worse. And I remember doing like the prep. I thought Donovan Mitchell was like a rich man's what's his name, the defender that everyone hates, the um, what was his name? He's still in the league, I think. Anyways, he was why can't I remember? Anyways, I thought he was going to be a nice role player in the league that could defend and shoot and athletic.
Like Marcus Smart.
Yeah, like that. And he was so beyond what anyone hoped.
Yeah. Dennis Lindsay, thank you for that one.
Yep, Dennis Lindsay hit, and even though those Cleveland picks aren't great right now, we get our first one this time, but we actually get one in like 2029.
Which is huge.
It could be incredible.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Clippers are beating the Thunder by 1. You know who's good is the Hornets are pretty good.
They are.
They dang near beat the Celtics the other night. That was a fun game.
Yeah.
Oh, Raptors beat the Kings. That helps the tank.
Yeah.
Grizzlies beat the Sixers. Man, Sixers are 1-4.
Yeah.
Spurs beat the Wolves. Oh, the Cavs pulled it out by 1 over the Bucks. Sadness for the Bucks. That's crazy. You know who might
are
be
the
legit?
Kings?
Oh, go ahead.
Are the Kings good? Are they? I can't tell if the Kings are good. I can't. I think Sabonis. I will die on that. I think Sabonis is a really good player. Hill. I know that Sabonis gets a lot of flack. I think he's probably not that great in the playoffs, but every time I watch him, I'm like, I can't believe this guy just scored 30 points and 10 rebounds and 10 assists, and he didn't look like he tried. But I just still don't think I don't know if they got it.
The makeup of their team doesn't make a ton of sense to me with how the game is played now. Like, I just did not. I mean, and I know David Locke was talking about it. I hated it when I heard it. Like, are you serious? Like getting DeMar DeRozan and making him. You are like that. Just absolutely making sure your team is like mid-level team with DeMar DeRozan because literally like everything about him is mid. It's like the mid-range jump shot. You're gonna like get mid-level efficiency, and he's a nice player. He handles it well. But now the Kings have Sabonis, who's not a high-level three-point shooter. De'Aaron Fox, I think he's doing pretty well from 3, but I wouldn't call him like an elite three-point shooter by any means. And that's not even really his game. He's more like ball in his hands, super fast, get to the rim, kind of work around the rim type player. And then DeRozan's kind of like a ball in his hands, kind of works to his spots, takes his mid-range shots, fadeaways, things like that. So they're just not. I felt like it hurt him. I felt like it kind of like, yeah, DeRozan's nice, but you guys are not an elite offense at this point.
No. It doesn't help that you missed on Davion Mitchell as well. It doesn't help that, Keon Ellis, Kevin Huerter, that, is Kevin Herter going to actually have a good year again? I don't know. Is Keon Ellis good enough at shooting the ball to be, a starter? I don't know.
Well, it kind of makes Keegan Murray like insanely important for them because that's where your like 3-point shooting is coming from. And then yeah, Kevin Herter is vital. And they lost to us in preseason and like the next day signed Drew, what was it? Doug McDermott. And it's like if you're needing Doug McDermott and you're kind of emergency pulling out that signing, I don't know if that's a great sign.
Yeah.
And DeRozan's not a good defender either. So they're not like a high level. Like, actually, it makes me want to look. Like, what is their we're kind of getting to the point now where these stats are starting to tell an actual picture. It's not as small a sample.
Yeah.
But let me see. Let me pull up the team leaders. This is kind of fun. We got all this Jazz stuff going on with this.
Yeah.
Whoa, Nikias and what's his bucket good for them?
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, let's see. So advanced. Let's look at the Kings. Nikias is a good dude.
He's great.
Let's see. So offensive rating. The Kings need to be top 10 in offense. And they're number 8, so maybe they're making me eat my words, I guess. They're the number 8 offense right now. Defensive rating, they are number 9. I don't know. I
guess maybe they're good.
Maybe they're good, but it doesn't feel like that's real to me. I don't know. Is that because they smoked us? I don't know.
Could be.
Net rating, let's see. Oklahoma City's number 1. Golden State, number 2. Cleveland 3. Boston 4. Knicks 5. The Kings 6? Did the Kings how bad did the Kings beat us?
Apparently by a million. I don't know.
Maybe I'm just wrong. I guess I just don't see it with them. I feel like that maybe I'm wrong. But just from me watching them, I don't know. I don't know if they're good. I think they're average, but the numbers say they're top 10.
The numbers say they're top 10. The numbers say the Wizards are apparently also a decent team, which
they've had
take that for what you will.
They drafted well. I mean, Bilal looks good. Sarr has had some moments. They might be good. I don't know. They can. I don't know. The other team that's actually not too bad is Portland. Is pretty good. I don't want to go to
2-4. Yeah.
We're bad. I know that.
We're the worst, actually.
We are literally the worst.
Literally the worst.
Let me go. Let's see. Who was I looking at? Washington. Yeah, Washington is in the playoff picture as of this moment. I was looking at the bottom. I was like, where are you? Oh, you're up here. Let's see. Roster. Okay, so
they're going to lose tonight, but,
Yeah. So Jordan Poole's averaging 22. We all know Jordan Poole's not that great, but then Bilal is at 18. Valanciunas is playing well for them. That might have been quietly not a great idea because he is a solid NBA starting center. He's not a over-the-top guy, but he does rebound and play efficiently, set screens. He's a good NBA player. Kispert, there's 3-point percentage. I guess Jordan Poole shooting 57% from 3 on the season is helping.
Oh, that'll surely stay. Yeah.
I didn't know he was doing that. Valanciunas shooting 50. Bub Carrington, rookie, shooting 50% from 3 this season. That's a pretty good pickup. Bilal's shooting 42. That hurts my heart.
Yeah.
That hurts. 59% from the field, 42% from 3 for Bilal. Holy crap.
It's pretty good.
That is pretty good. And he's averaging 18 with 1 point. These numbers with Jordan Poole are crazy. So they're not as good as they look, actually.
Yeah.
That's Poole's gold. But they are
who knows? Maybe Jordan Poole is finally making good on his contract and will make everybody in the their words and
Maybe he figured it out. But you know what? Carrington looks pretty good. Starr is not shooting it from three very well, nor is he shooting it from the field very well. But apparently, from what people say online, he's pretty well defensively. So I don't know. We'll see.
I could say that about the Jazz, and I could be one of those people who says something about the Jazz that we do well online, and we could start sending that out. You know, maybe we could just start propaganda. You know,
The Jazz are actually, if you actually watch the games,
yeah, it's not that bad. It's just seriously not that bad.
Utah now up to 17 in defense.
Hey,
Not too bad. Better than I would have expected. Offensively, though, Utah is number 30.
I just don't. That's a shot right there where you're like, that's just stupid. He
Yeah,
kind of just caught it and threw it, and it didn't even look like a shot. And it didn't. I didn't know if it was a lob or a shot when it left his hands, and it just rolls in.
Mhm. He's just crazy. The touch is unbelievable. I like that Cody is getting an emphasis in the offense, like running
Me
the
too.
show a little bit. No.
there
Hey,
you go, Kessler.
Kessler. Nice job. Kessler's having a pretty decent night.
Yes. Maybe I got to do a film room article on Kessler this season. That might be a good idea.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I think that we haven't had very many film room articles recently. So
Yeah, and that's where I'm hoping the blog. I gotta start scheduling. I think I'm gonna go back to scheduling days for writers, to try to get more than just previews and recaps. But that would be awesome. Because I think Kessler has shown some things this season. It'd be fun to kind of dive in.
I think the scheduling probably is a honestly a good idea. I think it gives deadlines. That's for me personally. It gives deadlines to work on. I think that always helps.
I think that's my bad. I'm gonna schedule those out this week and even give people like Lake has been doing like a rookie power rankings and it's pretty fun. If people just have kind of something like that, I think people enjoy that.
Oh, Filipowski.
Man, I keep hesitating. That was a block.
That's a block. That's a block.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's a block.
That is a block. Look at that. Filipowski. No way.
That's a bad call.
That is terrible.
He kind of got up too.
Yeah, you know what? Filipowski keeps showing us a little more. Has Jokic lost his three-point touch? My article. Just kidding.
Call it. It's a great screen. That's a great screen by Kessler. That's what he's. If he can.
And that's good
do more
pass
of that.
out of the pick and roll.
Yeah.
That's just good play. It's all ball.
More of that. More complaining. I honestly like it.
Care. Just care. I like it.
I would love for him to get into a fight.
Yeah. Get suspended. I don't mind it. My playback kind of just freezes at times, so then I have to switch over. Ooh.
Watch out.
Oh, see, I want to see Cody Williams run a pick and roll there.
Yeah.
I guess he wants it, but then you're just kind of telling Jokic what you're going to do. See, that's the Sexton stuff. That's like,
Not so great. Not so great Sexton stuff. But you know, it's a grenade too, so I guess I'll give him
That's
the
true.
benefit of the doubt. And he doesn't mind taking those.
No, he doesn't. Cody Williams got some good
Pass.
passing chops.
He does. There you go. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Just take the easy one.
Yeah, and that's also Kessler screening off Jokic.
Yep.
Nice job, Kessler. Oh, Filipowski. I like Filipowski a lot.
Yeah. The agenda has started on that one.
It really has. Christian Brown like
that's like McCall's stupid 3-point celebration. That should be Christian Brown for everything.
Oh my gosh, I don't like that guy. I don't know what it is. It's just because I don't like the Nuggets.
Yeah, it's easy though. That's kind of how I feel about a lot of players in the league. I have a vendetta against the jersey, so that
Come on, Key. He got into it. He got ragdolled by Rudy last game, so they didn't want to see him get ragdolled again.
I messed up by not picking the career path of being an NBA referee. Gosh,
they make so much money.
So much money. Like good six figures. Like really good six figures.
They make the veterans make $450,000 a year.
Yeah. That's pretty good. You get to travel for work.
Yeah, first tier is 230, I think.
Yeah.
Got to get into
I'm trying to become a lawyer so I can make less. I mean, it's doing all this law school stuff just so I can make less money than
that's true.
Tony Brothers.
You're gonna make more money than me if you're going to law school.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, there's show that replay. Oh my god. Yeah, let's just let Russell Westbrook run everything. Yeah. That foul was offensive, Russell.
Yeah. I somehow I think that it's kind of impressive how Westbrook is probably going to have a contract in the league for the next 3 or 4 years. I don't think he should. I just don't think he should.
Well, he probably will. That's a good question, actually. Like, what's the over/under on 2.5 years of Russell Westbrook being in the league?
I think over. I just think over. I think he's athletic enough and just runs hard enough still to where people will buy it.
But yeah, I actually don't. I could see it. He does run the point. And I guess with Denver, he's fine coming off the bench, although he looks like he started this one.
Yep.
Shut up, Christian Brown.
Not again.
Oh my gosh. Rudy should have
laid him out.
Yeah, he did ragdoll him, so that's something.
Yeah.
And Brown had nothing to say after. Like, it's not.
Yeah, no.
That's how you know it's all whatever, because he didn't do anything. He just like,
No.
I guess I'm being thrown around.
You know, I got one beef with Rudy though. He does all these boxing videos. And he's got all these boxing things, all for him to just flinch when Russell Westbrook comes. Like,
I know. It is really true. Hey, look at this. The threes are falling. I don't see Christian Brown. Where are you now, Christian Brown?
Come on, we got Johnny Juzang, huh? He's got 14. It's pretty good. Are we ready for the eventual Rudy Gobert 6 years after retirement boxing fight against some YouTuber? Are we ready for that?
The celebrity exhibition fight? I'll watch it. I promise I'll watch it.
like Darren Williams, just do the same thing, just fight somebody.
Didn't Darren Williams win too?
Maybe, I don't know.
I watched it. I can't even remember. I think he won. Dang.
Oh,
There it is. Dang it. I really, really want like a nice dunk on Brown moment.
yeah. It kind of makes me sad that we don't have. I mean, Lowry can put somebody in a body bag, that's for sure. But we just don't have anybody really on the roster who's getting up there, which sucks. It's fun when you have, even if you're bad, to have somebody who could just go and yam it.
That's why it's if you're a Wolves fan, you got to be. It's just fun to have Ant.
Yeah,
That's just fun to have, and a guy that's willing to do it too.
yeah. I thought Collins was gonna put some people through the rim, but he just hasn't done it.
He doesn't do it a lot, that's for sure. He'll like have a cool dunk, but it's rarely like on someone.
And he'll jump, and then he'll just not get there most of the time.
Mm-hmm. I hate Christian Brown.
Hey, Kessler picked up a tech though. There we go.
Hey, there you go.
Right on cue. Right on cue.
I think what makes I have a hard time with someone like Christian Brown, and this is why it really bugs me. And what makes it such a it's hell is because you can't do anything about it because he is
No.
not the most important player on their team at all.
No.
Like he like if they're going to win a championship, they need him to play well, and he did play well in that championship year. But he was like the 6th or 7th most important guy during that championship run, and hit
Yeah.
a few threes, But like when he's like getting a play like that, and he gets the advantage in dunks, and when he acts like that, and he'll get away with it because he gets to win with Jokic, it's so maddening. You know what I mean? And their whole defense, he is almost never going to be dunked on. Like, when is he going to be? Because he plays on the perimeter. So the person that's going to get dunked on is like a Jokic or like maybe Aaron Gordon or someone like that. It's not going to be him. So he like has this like, I get to trash talk you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And it's maddening. And even right now, it makes me clench my fists.
To be fair, though, we're about to, for you saying all that, he's just about to absolutely obliterate Walker Kessler out of nowhere. It's just going to happen. It's going to happen.
Because that's the thing is he can go and he can do it, and he actually has that ability.
Yeah.
And it gets set up because he's on Jokic's team, because Jokic draws the interest. It's going to happen.
Yep. And then Walker is going to curl up and sit down next to the camera guys after it happens. And it's definitely not going to be a fight after that one, but that's okay.
Oh my gosh. It's like a perfect thing, actually.
Yeah.
He has found. Oh, good for him.
I don't know if Sensabaug's got to find a way to get a little bit more involved some way somehow. He's just got to get a little bit more involved.
Yeah. He's been shooting it pretty well, but he's got to do a little more.
Yeah.
And I actually kind of have been surprised that he hasn't been a little better like that around the rim.
Yeah.
Only down 17.
Not bad. Not bad.
No, we were tied at 42. Oh, at least
Yeah, here it comes.
not Brown.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't.
I know the numbers are down across the board for the NBA for some reason right now. It'll go up. It's because it's NFL season.
Yeah.
But I feel like the announcers have gotten better.
I think so too.
We don't listen to what's his name that just says, "What can Brown do for you?" every other play.
Yeah.
And it was with getting old.
Yeah.
He's the one who coached the Nuggets and played for the Jazz and caused the problems with Stockton. Coached pre Kerr. What was his name?
Oh, not Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson. Yeah, is
Mark
it Mark
Jackson.
Jackson? Yeah.
Mark Jackson. Yeah.
And him saying, "What can Brown do for you?" every time Jaylen Brown did anything.
Yeah.
That's making me think of Christian Brown.
Yeah. And Mama, there goes that man after every
Yes.
single shot that went up and in. Yeah.
I will say, and this is Twitter stuff, but some people use that meme of him. It's not very appropriate, but it does make me laugh. I guess I'll leave it at that. But what did he
It's
say?
a good meme.
Like,
It's a good meme. Yeah.
you know the one I'm talking about, where it's like, with
I know
all
the
due
one you're talking
respect.
about. Yeah. No, I know exactly.
It's a good one.
It's a
It
good
makes
one.
me laugh every time.
Yeah.
But I am glad he's not calling basketball games.
Yeah. Honestly, that was he really found out the cheat code on that. Just say with all due respect before saying anything, and you just got away with it somehow. You got away with it for like a decade. So I don't know. I can't hate him for it.
Yeah, I agree.
I kind of miss Jeff Van Gundy. I know Jeff Van Gundy was kind of the worst, but he was also kind of funny.
Yeah, it's actually true. Is that Juzang that missed that?
Yeah, it was Eubanks.
Oh, it's Eubanks. Oh, I like Eubanks taking the 3 though. Late career resurgence from Eubanks.
Yeah.
3.
Good for him.
Tyrone, I don't think we're going to win a game for a while, to be honest. And I am personally so fine with that. Yeah, like maybe the Spurs game, but the Spurs beat the Wolves today. You know what I mean? And they beat us by like 20. I agree, Tyrone. Let's just get Cooper Flag. I tell you what, if we get Cooper Flag, that's like a top 5 Utah sports moment, just getting Cooper Flag.
It is.
Like, what do we have? We have none of us are old enough to have seen the Utah Stars in the ABA win a title, so none of us really have that.
No.
Some of the older fans do, I guess. But there's like BYU winning the national championship in like 1984.
Yeah.
There's Utah beating Alabama, I guess, in a bowl game, but that's like a bowl game that I don't know if Alabama cared that much about.
Yeah.
Utah going to the finals against the Bulls, you know, the shot with, honestly, like and maybe I'm forgetting something. Maybe you guys can let me know, but there's not a ton. There's not like a ton.
There's Mike Trout coming to the Salt Lake Bees. That's gotta be somewhere up there, right? I mean,
that's something.
That's something.
I guess Darren Williams and Carlos Boozer taking us to the Western Conference Finals, maybe.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. That's about it, though.
Yeah, that's kind of so. Winning Cooper Flag and drafting Cooper Flag is up there.
And then, that's RNF is right. Our Real Salt Lake winning it all. That's probably
that's true.
That's got to be
counts.
up there.
We'll
Except
count
they
it.
lost again tonight, so it's kind of game over for them now.
Jazz getting the number 1 seed in the playoffs. Yeah, that's a soft spot. That's a sore spot, KG.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you get Cooper Flag number 1, my gosh, that's the other thing. And you know, people can say what they want, and that's why I don't engage with people as much anymore on Twitter anymore. But when people say things like, "I just am not interested in the Jazz at all," it's like, well, you weren't last year either.
No.
Like, or the year before. And by the way, based off of numbers, you weren't that last year with Donovan and Rudy. Did you guys see this? This was crazy.
This is nuts.
Grant Williams is such a butthead.
Yeah, but he's helping them win games, so I guess
That game was so fun.
Yeah. You know, Tyron, I think that if it would kind of honestly be great if we challenged the Pistons losing streak, because I imagine how fun these streams would be if we're like 3 games away from taking the cake of the longest losing streak. That'd be hilarious.
It would be fun. The numbers would go up.
They'd go up. 100% they'd go up.
Because then it's like it becomes a thing. I don't know.
Oh, we would get memed. We absolutely would get memed. That's without a doubt.
But here's the thing: is we get memed anyway. When we were winning with Donovan and Rudy, we were getting clowned anyway.
Every game.
I have an article. I got to start writing these article ideas now. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. But I have a few articles. I want to write an article that's basically like, forget LA, forget New York, forget the Celtics. The NBA is more fun when Utah is good, and it's because every good story needs a villain. The number 1 rated NBA Finals of all time is still Michael Jordan versus Karl Malone and John Stockton.
Yeah.
Let's see. I have a thing here. Oh, no. Sorry, buddy. But yeah, you absolutely. Tyrone, I don't know. We haven't tried it. I guess. Maybe next time. I don't know. All right, you know what, Tyrone requests. Let's bring you on. Why not? But
Tyrone, your manager might get mad at you if you're still at work, though. I will tell you that. If you're still at work, you might get clowned out by your manager, but who knows?
All right, let's see. Let's bring you on, Tyrone. Keep it PG. I think I accepted it. Tyrone, I accepted it. Are you coming on? Hey, Tyrone, there you are.
What's up, Tyrone?
What have you got to say, Tyrone?
Hello?
Hey, what's up, Tyrone?
Bro, I love you guys.
Well, I love you, Tyrone.
We love you, Tyrone. Thank you.
I just got off work, so.
Well, that's awesome.
And I'm only 16.
That's great. Hey, you're with us like every night. It's great. Hey,
oh, yeah, I love the Jazz.
Who's your favorite player right now?
Oh, Keontae.
Hey, yeah! That's right.
Always. Oh.
You got a confidant with you. That's impressive. You got somebody who's by your side.
Yeah.
Here's what I think, Tyrone. I think the league needs Utah to be good because they need a good villain. Everyone loves the team that you love to hate. Like, everyone loved to hate on the Jazz. Everyone called John Stockton dirty every night. And you know what I thought about it? I didn't care at all.
No.
So what? Who cares? Deal with it. You don't like tough screens? Quit crying.
No, you're right, James. You're right.
Well, I just think that we're on track to Cooper Flag, and I am so excited. And if we got Cooper Flag or even Ace Bailey or Dylan Harper, I'm so excited to watch the Jazz next year. And I think actually Dylan Harper is fun to think about next to Keontae George, because then Key can be more of a scorer at the 1, and Dylan Harper is kind of your point guard. He looks so good. It's actually crazy. If we get a top 3, I'm so excited. Guys, go watch Dylan Harper film. You will like it. I promise.
Yeah.
James, I just want to say I really appreciate like what you do for the Jazz and stuff.
You're very nice to me.
No, like seriously, I watch all your post games and every day.
Well, you are so nice, Tyrone. I appreciate it. You're great, my man. The Jazz need to be the villain. So, anyways, Tyrone, what do you want more from us on SLC Duncan? I guess on playback and on the YouTube. What do you want to see more of?
I mean, I don't know. You do a lot.
Well, can you email Harrison, my SB Nation manager, and tell him that? Because no, I appreciate it, Tyrone. Thanks for jumping on. I guess if anyone else wants to jump on real quick.
Yeah, thanks for letting me on.
Hey, drive safe, Tyrone. Or if you're at home, just...
I'm at home.
Okay. Hey, we'll see you, buddy.
Yeah.
That was actually really fun.
That was amazing.
Let's see. I love that he loves Key, but I tell you what, there's a part of me that kind of has this there's this little something that's telling me Dylan Harper is special.
Yeah.
And and sometimes you'll watch one or two plays and you'll just be like, holy cow. He had a couple plays in that first little exhibition where everyone was obviously super excited about Ace Bailey. But Dylan Harper had a few where he drives to the rim, gets past his defender, he confronts the rim protecting big, and instead of forcing something, he just kind of does this little fadeaway mid ranger.
Yeah.
And it's so smooth, and it's he looks like he's gonna score 20 points in the NBA, no sweat. He really does kind of. I could see him being a 2010 guy and be just so fun to watch.
That'd be a dream. Or on the flip side, we could try to just build if we're going to be the villains, we might as well just start early. And we get Grant Williams, we get Christian Brown, we get Marcus Smart, we get Dylan Brooks, and we just conglomerate and we just have.
Oh, 100%. Oh, and this is the other one I want to write, and I'm going to do videos about this. Oh, and I'm going to do the Walker Kessler conspiracy. I'm going to write that. I don't care. But I do want I want to write a thank you to Ryan Smith for doing this, because the Millers would have never done this.
No.
Never, ever. Especially freaking Greg Miller. Never.
Yeah. No.
Because it's just, for them, there was always a bottom line. Well, we got to sell tickets. We got to try to get the playoffs and get playoff money. So Greg can go to auction and buy a car. But this is Ryan.
Oh, Greg Miller.
I hate Greg Miller. But this is they're letting the Jazz do this the right way. It's the right way. It just is.
I think that they were. I part of me thinks that post Hayward, I think the Millers were going to dip their toes into being bad. I think that they had the plan of being bad for a little bit. And then Donovan Mitchell came on and was just the best player ever as a rookie. So then they were like, all right, no, definitely not doing that again, which is quite the break for them. But
yeah, it kind of, everything worked out so perfectly for that team when they really, the thing is if Donovan Mitchell doesn't explode and they don't have everything running through Ricky Rubio and running a nice, well-planned scheme, Utah was in the running for Luka Doncic that year. And they were on track too. That's what's crazy. And then they had that insane turnaround. You could argue the playoff win was fun, but I tell you what, a team of Rudy Gobert, Luka Doncic, and Donovan Mitchell probably wins a title. It
probably does. I will say that Thunder series was the best series I think I ever watched live. That was one of the most fun.
Top 10 Utah sports moment, I'd say.
There it is. That Ricky Rubio half-court heave, boom, there you go. That vaults you to top 3.
It was freaking fun, and it was so satisfying. It was great. Beating Paul George, push off PE or whatever. And
yeah. We kind of did Ricky just absolutely dirty after that, though, because we showed him all the love, and he was a starter, and he was ready to re-sign for pennies, and then we were like, I don't know.
Just traded him. Yeah, we did.
Which I felt bad about, but it was the right choice.
The thing with Ricky Rubio, he's doing okay. From stuff I've seen and heard, and He's okay. And
He's
he's got millions of reasons to be. But I
Yeah.
wish him well. He had all the issues with the mental health, and so
He did.
I'm hoping he's doing okay. I'm sure he is.
I hope he is.
Ricky Rubio right now might be on a beach in Spain.
Probably is, with his long, luscious hair and just
and doing pretty well.
Pretty well. Much better than us. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
Okay, I got ideas here that I can do. Walker Kessler conspiracy. Thank you to Ryan Ryan Smith. And the Jazz. Forget the Lakers. Forget the Knicks. The NBA needs Utah to be the best team in the league.
If they want ratings.
It's proven out.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of Michael Jordan.
Nothing.
Not that guy. Who was that guy?
Yeah. All about Byron Scott. That's all it was.
Yeah. I still can't believe we ran out freaking Adam Keefe, guys. And I liked him, but are you serial? Are you kidding? I don't know.
I don't ever feel bad for NBA players, but sometimes I do feel bad for those late 80s, early 90s NBA players that actually weren't paid that much and kind of had nothing to do after. They did not make that much money. Not enough to never work again.
It's really true. Now you step foot on an NBA court and you're doing pretty well. You're getting I can buy a house money pretty quickly.
Yeah,
with cash, and but back then it was for the love of the game.
It was for the love of the game,
and for the love of the Miller's bottom line.
Yep.
By the way, guys, can we just be honest? Gail Miller had to fire her own son, Game of Thrones style, because he was going to sell the team. Do you guys realize that? We should make a statue. Speaking of statues and bad statues, we need a statue of Gail, and I want to put her in some sort of angelic Greek Rome armor because she saved the Jazz. That no one knew. Greg was going to sell the team. She had to fire her own son, put it into a trust, and then sold it to Ryan Smith.
Honestly impressive that she got all that done too. What a job. What a job.
Shout out to Gail Miller.
That much stress. Gail Miller's getting up there too. To put that
for real.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? 33% from three for Key. I'll take it with the way the season's gone. And you know what?
Not bad.
6 assists. That's enough for the agenda to be stat station.
Yeah. He's shooting about league average from three.
A little below, but what?
But
6 assists, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And how many turnovers? 8. No, it's 0 turnovers tonight, guys.
There you go.
So okay, there you go. There's my agenda.
The Svi Mikhailiuk game is not the worst.
I tell you what, I bet it's his best. Come on, baby.
There we go.
It's the best Svi Mikhailiuk game in a Jazz jersey.
It is.
Yeah.
6 points. I mean,
and
don't get too excited, sports fans.
Bowler and Thurl have to say nice things about Key now, so that's the best.
They do have to say nice things, yeah.
You have to. David Locke, you have to. I don't know what David Locke does anymore.
Does David Locke know what David Locke does anymore?
No. David Locke. The grift continues. Let's see.
Good for him, though.
Good for him. Did I tell you guys I interviewed with David Locke for broadcast assistant?
You did?
I did. I got laid off from the ad agency. This was 11 years ago, 12. We lost 2 clients, and I was one of 2 people that got laid off. But anyways, I was I don't know what I want to do with my life because I hate ad agencies. And when I actually started my YouTube channel. But so I started a YouTube channel, and I applied for the broadcast assistant, and I actually got through. And I sat down with David Locke, who had his intern doing questions. But the first thing he said to me is in his David Locke voice, how did you get through the interview thing? I don't even know how you're sitting here right now. And I was like, in my head, I literally in my head thought, because I'm the best freaking prospect you have here. Instead, I was like, I don't know. I must have done a good job. You know what I mean? The interview went pretty well, but yeah, that was basket interference. So, anyways, that's my David Locke story.
That's funny.
In David Locke's, I guess one thing he does is he does call you to let you know that he didn't get the thing.
Yeah, that's nice at least. Yeah, that's nice
Yeah,
at least.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I think the one of the funniest David Locke isms that I think that goes under the radar is that it's almost every single podcast he does, he makes it clear that he's driving from his house in Park City. It's like every single podcast. It's like, I'm just sitting in my house in Park City, or I was driving down from my house in Park City. And it's like, we get it. We get it.
We get it. You live in a nice house in Park City.
Yeah.
You're Utah, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, you did it. You accomplished it. Yeah.
And I will say, we're in the content industry a little bit. Props to David Locke. It's rough. It's a lot of work, and so he does it. So he does a good job with what he does. I just don't care for his platform. But what was I going to say? Oh, I forgot. You know what? Shout out to David Locke. He's great.
Shout out.
If you guys like David Locke, that's awesome. Shout out David Locke.
And he really does do some great episodes.
He does. He does a good job, and he's built a network, and it's pretty cool. And so, you know what? Shout out David Locke. He's done a great job.
Yeah, he does his thing.
Just if you interview with him, it's not a good idea to, I guess, be older than 22. I don't know. I was like 30. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I guess that was too old.
That's too much. It's too much. Tyrone, I would also love to see Collier. I am on the Collier bandwagon. Hopefully the hamstring gets taken care of and is healthy here soon. Because I don't know if I can watch Patty Mills anymore.
And Patty Mills is great. I like him as a veteran, but I agree. I think Collier is going to be a lot of fun. He's going to make the games more fun to watch.
Yeah.
That was nice. Collins to Kessler.
Collins is having a sleeper season.
He actually is quietly showing out to be a nice player.
15-5-5 with the steal that's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, John Collins playing well, and Collier will be really fun. Yeah, I don't think. What do you guys think? And what do you think, Sven? Do you think that KG10? You're so nice, Locked On Hoops nerd. Though that was what I remembered. I forgot is some of the people that online call it Locked On ads. It is pretty funny.
It's a fair point. Yeah.
But you know what? I used to listen to actually David Locke once upon a time pretty regularly. But anyways, what do you guys think? Do you think Lowry, Markkanen knew they would be this bad? And do the Jazz trade him next offseason, or is he fine with it and a core part of the future? That's my question.
Yeah, I have to think that when they were doing the whole contract negotiation, it was, hey Lowry, we're in a rebuild mode. This year we're going to prioritize, the young guys, this, that, and the other. And he was nodding his head. He was like, and they said $40 million, and he said signed. Boom.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's probably exactly
$40 million a year. Thanks, I'm in.
We need you to go take a couple hikes with our social media person so they can get some pictures, do some content. You love Utah, blah blah blah. Here's $40 million.
Yeah, take it and run, Lowry. Yeah, 100%. That's how. And he, in the background, he was like, I just don't care to get traded again, which is completely. I would feel the same. I wouldn't want to move. He's got 2 kids or whatever. He doesn't want to get traded. So fair, take the whole year where you can't get traded, and then what happens after that. But you just can't pass that up.
I think you're 100% right. I don't think people realize the money matters. I think not wanting to be traded is a big deal because he does have kids that are in school, and as someone with multiple kids as well, like moving schools and stuff like that sucks.
No.
And so I'm sure he was very pro like having a little bit of like solidarity. I personally, and maybe I'm just like devil's advocate, I do think there's like maybe we have too many picks, but I just think there is a world where he does get traded this offseason. Um, who knows?
I think there is. I think that it's like a 50-50 whether or not he's on the next Utah Jazz playoff team. Because there's a world where you get Cooper, right? Taylor comes back, Keontae shoots league average.
Mhm.
You know, some of these things go a little bit the right way, and you sneak in as a eighth or seventh seed next year. You know, like that's not implausible. It could happen.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing is I wonder if Utah, and I was thinking about this too because Utah has 3 more picks coming in, and they all said, and even like Michael, what's his name? Not Rappaport. He writes for, I can't remember who it was, but he was on my pod, and like, oh, the Jazz are gonna draft. And they're going to have 3 picks in this upcoming one. I can't remember who said it, but I do agree. I think there is a potential. I mean, no one's going to do it though, but Utah
Yeah.
potentially could trade to like move up in this upcoming draft, but
Maybe.
the hope is you don't need to. And the picks aren't looking good enough that they would move the needle.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, I guess I just think we're going to have 3 more rookies. I think Utah probably does it again 26, and then they start making moves to bring in another player, especially if they hit on Cooper Flag this year. But I think Cooper Flag is going to be better than people realize. Like he's one of those guys that can win by not even that. He's kind of got that Rudy Gobert factor where he can help you win a game, and he doesn't even put up a major stat line some nights because of his defensive ability. But I mean, I don't know. I think it's going to be 2 years of this. And then if we get a star in one of those, and then you have like a potential all-star in the other, then you're like, go out. For Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward, or you're trading for Derek White or things like that. Like I think that's what I would predict.
Yeah. I think that they're gonna have to trade one of the picks next year is my predictions. They're gonna trade one of them. Just because I don't think I think that they just can't. I think with 9 players in their first 3 years, I think that you might just run out of actual roster spots at that point for those guys. I think I think that they'd be okay with it, but I think they might trade one, but I don't know if they're going to do a big package for anybody. I don't see it happening.
Well, I wonder if I mean, that Cavs pick is looking like the last pick in the draft, but like it might not be obvious. They're not going to be able to move up in this draft in the top 3. That's just not happening. But maybe they move up. Like if the Wolves pick is like 18, maybe you can move to like 15. If you something like that, I could see maybe.
Or maybe even we don't have any second round draft picks anymore, and those are useful for trade purposes or throw-ins and stuff like that. So I could see him taking if the Cavs pick is 28, maybe they trade it for 4 future seconds or something like that, and you get just something there. But I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. I completely agree. I mean, I think because there's going to be someone that they probably really like, maybe mid first round, or there is potential to just trade back. Like, we could just get a future asset, and sometimes you get pretty good assets that way.
Yeah.
Right now, what's crazy is Minnesota is the number 13 pick. If we get the number 13 from Minnesota, that's bonkers. Like and that gets you in the range. Like, what if like a Common Malawatch is still on the board? Oh, that would be so. There's some good players. I've got to watch this I think it was, who was the guy from Bleacher Report? But Rocco Zakarski.
Yeah,
I gotta
Yeah.
watch that guy.
he's
There's
kind of a
some
fun
guy-
one.
Have you watched him? I haven't watched him at all.
I watched a bit, and he's kind of fun. I won't lie. I don't know. I don't know.
But he's 7'3". Like I don't even know
Yeah.
anything about him, but I see 7'3", and I'm like, okay,
It's pretty good.
yeah. But there, even the kid from BYU, who made $1.5 million, by the way.
Nice. I paid
uh,
tuition. That's what I did. I didn't make $1.5 million. I just paid for school instead of
yeah,
instead of that. That's what I did during my 4 years.
he's at 11. Igor Demon, he had
Yeah.
almost a triple-double in BYU's exhibition.
He looks
And
great. He looks great.
He looks really fun.
And he's got a great name.
Igor Demon. Igor's a fun name. Oh. I'm loving this season, guys. This is truly, truly great. And Michael, what is he messaging in the group? Let's see. Indeed, we are number 1. But Milwaukee being number 2 right now is kind of wild in the lottery. Did someone?
I don't know. Do you think
Mark?
Michael types on the computer, or do you think he types on his phone when he's sending these messages? Because he's so quick with them.
He's on his computer.
He's on his computer.
I think he's a laptop watching TV guy, and there's no way. I mean, with your hands on your, maybe I'm just too fat finger with my phone.
Maybe.
Oh my gosh! And sometimes I'll do phone to text. The other day I got so mad at a work thing, and I had my AirPods in, and it almost typed in my curse that I said out loud, and the panic attack I felt. But like, there's no way he's doing voice to text. Maybe
Maybe he is.
But I'm guessing he's on his laptop on his couch.
Yeah, I kind of gave up on the voice to text. I tried it at my job at the Capitol once. I had like a work phone and my phone, and I had to send a message to somebody, and it was an important message. And me being a smarty pants I was, I'd try it for the first time with the
on that message.
Yeah. No, not doing it again.
Yeah, I feel like an old man when I do it, but I guess I am an old man. Sometimes it's nice when I'm driving home. I'll be honest. Like if I'm driving home and I'm messaging the team, I'm usually voice to text, especially if it's a longer message. Key now has. Let's see. I thought that was an assist. It went in.
I think it was. It had to be, but maybe not.
Finally, a nice kind of breakout night for Key. So hopefully this is the first of many.
Walker's got 5 blocks, which is great.
Yeah, Walker's
awesome.
having, you know what? Even though we're losing this game, there's some bright spots, and that's all you want. Walker has 13 points. I'd love to see him start averaging a double-double, but 13 points, 9 rebounds, 5 blocks, that's very good.
It's pretty good.
Colin Sexton, not a good night. Filipowski came down to earth a little bit. He's only played 13 minutes, though.
Which is kind of silly, but
yeah, Cody Williams is really struggling to shoot the ball right now.
Yeah.
It would be nice to see that start changing. Sensabaugh, we talked about him. He is 3 for 6 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3.
It's pretty good.
So, yeah. And that's like 3-4 games in a row that he's shooting it pretty well.
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting. I honestly, you made a good point. Like, at some point, why can't Bryce Sensabaugh play the shooting guard?
I don't know.
Yeah. Why not? I know you've got like locker room dynamics, and so it's easier said than done for me. And instead of the coach, who would have to be like, by the way, Sexton, you're going back to the bench. But there's a guy that's on Twitter that these face cams are pretty good. But anyways, there's a guy that works with Sexton a lot on like a lot of his like video and social stuff, and he'll text me before the season, "What do you think about Sexton?" And I'll be
Wrong
like,
place,
"Pretty
man.
good."
Wrong place. Wrong place.
You guys
Somebody
don't
else.
realize I'm not persuadable. I
Yeah.
like. I guess if you want to send me some money, but like, then I'll be his number one cheerleader. But
Yeah, the biggest fan. The biggest fan.
no, you're not pressuring me to say something just because you send me a not nice DM.
Yeah.
Sorry. But no, he never says not nice things to me. But it is funny. Some of these guys have such big PR things behind there. But I guess the moral of that is that these guys care about it. I don't think
They
Colin
do.
Sexton loves to go to the bench. I don't think he does.
No way.
He, in his mind, I think he's probably. I am. And I got to give credit to Colin Sexton. It seems like he has a good attitude.
Yeah.
And he
Same with John Collins. John Collins is filled. He's kind of done his thing off the bench, and I appreciate
has a
that.
good attitude. But I think there are some things where that's really hard to ask someone. Like, we're going to start Bryce Sensabaugh. And I think. But you know what? If that's why they make trades sometimes, so that you can do something like that.
Yeah. I wouldn't feel bad about saying that to Jordan Clarkson now.
No, not at all. But that's
not at all.
I think that was 100% Ryan Smith. I think that was 100% he wanted him. It didn't really fit, and now we're kind of paying for it because you know what? You could play Bryce Sensabaugh and have Sexton off the bench, but now you kind of can't.
Yeah.
Because JC's gonna. And what's so funny about that contract is JC has not played like the last 15, 20 games, the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
You're paying him not to play.
You're paying it to be PR. That's all he is. Because
it really is true.
People who don't even watch basketball know who Jordan Clarkson is for his girlfriends and his fashion and all that stuff. And that's why you're paying him. It's so you can have some guy who people know. That's on
like you play Jordan Clarkson because he's cool. But like, I guess that's me just being what about the good of the team?
We can't help but have tinfoil hats. We just can't help it,
Yeah, I agree. Key, stop the count. Don't shoot again. Yep. Yeah, he's not going to shoot it again. I know. I think he knows he has a good.
He knows.
Come on, Cody. Nice pass. He knocked that down, baby. No, dang it. We were at 40% from 3. Now we're not.
That's okay. At least some have gone in. It's better than going 0 for again.
Well, you got to take the shots. And that's the thing. I'm not actually that worried about. Keto just tweeted, like, I'm a little worried about. I'm not that worried about Cody Williams. He's making nice plays.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. There we go.
I'm just choosing number 1 fan right now. This is just great.
This is really nice. Christian Housemate hang with 11. He's actually, what is Juzang at right now?
Juzang's got 17.
Nice game for Juzang.
No, 14. 14. He's got 14, I think.
No, you were right. He's got 17.
He's got 17.
He's had a nice game. I like Juzang. I hope he's on the Jazz for a while. Anyone that can shoot like he does is worth keeping.
It's pretty good. And he's got 2 steals. It's pretty good, too.
I think the Jazz are kind of following the Boston model where it's when you have shooters, you keep them, especially if they have good size. Like
unless their name is Svi Mikhailuk, then you let them go and you take them to the Jazz.
They have there's a wealth of talent on Boston. It's actually kind of crazy.
Oh, there is, yeah.
But yeah, I think Johnny Juzang, I could see him playing for a lot of different teams. Actually, he's pretty. I mean, you can't teach shoot. I mean, well, you can, but him being able to shoot like that is just so.
It's impressive. Yeah, and he wasn't that good of a shooter when he came into the league. I think he was much more of like an off the dribble mid-range shooter, but he really did put in a lot of work on that.
Yeah, he's kind of just it's a fun story, to be honest. Yeah, but Utah, you can just tell. You look at this roster. I mean, that's another thing. Filipowski can shoot the ball. I just don't think you're trading Filipowski unless like the Bucks are like, we want Filipowski and 5 picks. And you're like, okay.
Right.
But otherwise, you're just not trading that guy.
Yeah.
We're kind of a
Walker.
team that turns the season around for other teams right now. I'll be honest.
Oh, we absolutely are. Yeah.
We just
We
changed.
are the
tempo
sacrificial
of the season.
lamb. There you go, Walk.
Walker's playing solid.
I think it's time to look at the schedule and see when we think we can actually win.
Oh, good idea.
Let's see. So we've got the Bulls next. The Bulls are actually kind of good.
They actually are pretty good. They're not bad.
They're not bad. Josh Giddey's playing pretty well. Lonzo's back. He's also injured again, but
Kobe White is good.
Kobe White is great. Kobe White is really good. Zach LaVine is not so good, but is also kind of good at the same time.
I mean, he's a great shooter.
Yeah. Oh,
Walker.
Ouch. The Bucks are bad, but I think they're better than us still.
Yeah, the Bucks are. I think they're better than their record says, but they're not very good right now.
No, I think that Wembanyama. I think the Spurs game on the November 9th is our next best chance.
I tell you what, I think it might be that Bucks game. If we beat the Bucks and they lose to us, do they trade Giannis the next day?
They just don't. They tell him to not get onto the plane back to Milwaukee and let him stay here in Salt Lake.
They're just like, it's over. Like,
yeah.
We're gonna get them. There's some offers out there that are gonna be bonkers.
Yeah. I mean, after that, maybe it's the Kings, maybe it's the Clippers, but I really just don't. There's not a lot of easy wins for the Jazz until the Trailblazers on the December 6th. That's really the only next game where you're like, okay, yeah, that's a team that's at our level.
It's not. It's pretty bleak.
Yeah.
And the season is actually set up for Utah to just solidify the number one because it's so front loaded. And then trade deadline hits, and that's when we start playing the Eastern Conference teams. We don't play like those bottom 5 Eastern Conference teams very much at all.
No.
Until post trade deadline.
No.
It's crazy. So this season is like perfectly set up for us to do what we're doing.
Yeah. I would love for us to. Yeah, it would be kind of hilarious if we don't win any games, but then win the NBA Cup and then don't win any games. I think that would just make a perfect season.
What if we might be on track to just like such a nice setup there too? The key Kessler pick and roll has actually been pretty good. It's getting Kessler some good shots.
It is.
What I was going to say is, who could get Giannis, and it would break the NBA? But OKC could go get Giannis.
They could.
Like, they could trade Jalen Williams or something like that. They could trade Casey Wallace and, like, a crazy amount of picks. And that's that.
Yeah.
It's really, like, it's scary to think about, but they have some of the best picks to trade, including like good Clippers picks.
Yep.
Although the Clippers are better than I thought. So
I thought the Clippers are going to be terrible, and it just seems to stay true that if your name is Tyronn Lue or Eric Spoelstra, you just lead your teams to wins, which is impressive.
And you know what? I was watching them the other night. It feels legit. They have, I mean, Utah's getting run out of the gym, but they have like good players at every position. Like Chris Dunn, I thought they really needed him. He's more just a depth piece. He comes in and he just defends. Harden is actually playing pretty well. He's not like what he was before when he was MVP Harden, but he like runs the point. And then like they don't even have Kawhi playing right now, and they're I don't know if those Clippers picks are quite as good as people were saying.
We'll see.
Well, that was fun, Sven. Thanks for jumping on.
Yeah, that's great.
Shout out to Svi Mikhailuk. Shout out to Drew Eubanks. Shout out Johnny Juzang.
Oh yeah, the saviors of the franchise.
The future
Dry
of
as we
the
thought.
Jazz.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining. Thanks for everyone on Playback. Thanks for everyone on YouTube. Make sure you follow us on Playback. It's been a lot of fun. Talk to you guys next time.
See ya.